Hey everybody, how you guys doing this morning? Oh, all sorts of talk going on in here before I even got started. It's good to see you guys. Ah, thanks for that bit, Kajata. I think that's the way to say that. And Tomb Spirit, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. I really, really do. So today we're gonna build something super fun. Disco Crocodile, what's up, man? How you doing? How you doing? Hopefully you've had a good couple streams. I have not actually caught enough of your streams. Actually, I haven't seen go live notification since the last time I talked to you, which means that probably something is busted on my end. So, I've been in a rush this morning, so we're having canned cold brew coffee from Costco, you know. Oh, are you seeing the focus box? No, that's really unfortunate. Okay, well, you can see that it's following my face. That's good, I guess. All right. I will return very, very shortly. I mean, I'm not going to turn off the stream. Just, you know, just going to do this part. Okay, hopefully you don't see it now. No, what the hell is going on? I am the saddest of pandas. I don't know. I don't know why that's happening. I haven't changed any settings or updated this camera or... Oh man, that's such a bummer. Oh, I mean, it's cool that it's following me, I guess. I mean, dang. I don't know what to do. Oh no. It is a Sony, yeah. It's a Sony a5100. But like I said, I haven't actually changed anything. So, you know, there's that. Which makes it super awkward. Super, super awkward. Is the corn working? So the corn is, in fact, not working. I can show you what's up with the corn. I can and I will. I will show you what's up. So, basically, man, this is gonna get super frustrating for you guys. That's like super crazy irritating. I really have no idea what the hell just happened. Like, why would it be outputting that? Yeah, so I don't wanna say that it's, so all the switches actuate, the connectors work. It's actually just the through switch LEDs are flaky, and behind the scenes I did a bunch of work on it. So previously it was socketed, but I did away with the sockets. So what ended up happening is it was socketed, and when I pushed down on the actual when I pushed down on the PCB near the controller, the lights would come on, the backlights would come on, so the through switch RGBs, and then that looked really, really cool, I guess, except that they weren't working normally. So I was like, oh, there's just some kind of a flaky connection. So I actually just unplugged the Pro Micro or the Elite C and plugged it back in a bunch of times, and I still couldn't get it to work. So what I ended up doing, hold on one sec. Yeah, so what I ended up doing was I was like, okay, so some connection here is flaky. Maybe it's one of the pins that I put together. So I put the other controller that customer had sent with it in, and I soldered those pins in, and it still worked. And I had reflowed all of the socket connectors and all that good stuff on the back side, and I was like, man, this is really, really irritating. I even got the it's not on there now, but I even got the OLED display to work. So I'll go to the overhead, but you're still gonna see this stupid box pop up, which is crazy and irritating and completely I don't understand. But yeah, so I thought it was maybe the sockets, right? So what I did is I desoldered all the sockets and I installed headers, hard headers, and then I installed the Elite C on headers, right? So that Elite C is now soldered in here. I don't have the OLED in because, well, why bother at this point, right? So this is what you get. And you get it whether you plug one side in or the other, right? So all the backlight LEDs work just fine. All the switches work just fine. I can pull up switch header and show that off, right? Minterly rated with 156. Good lord. Good lord. What's up, Minterly? How you doing? Thank you for the 156 people. You had 156 people? My face cam is doing this thing, and I don't understand why. And I don't know how to fix it. At least not live. It's weird. Anyway. Thanks again, Minterly. There's so many when is your 24-hour stream that I can't possibly see how what people are saying. But I'm doing all right mentally. We just went live. Dead BC77, Meetzer, thank you guys for following. Anybody who's not already following, you know, go ahead and consider clicking up here and following. So maybe the diode is wrong direction. No, so and I'm 100% sure of that for a couple reasons, Monarch Gold. So I didn't replace any of the LEDs or do anything to any of the LEDs. Okay, you go die now. Goodbye, Minterly. Oh no, crazy long stream. Womp womp. Good night. Plus Flora, thank you. Whoa, a bunch of you guys followed. Okay, I will get this. Satori, Plus Flora, Fashion Fruit, Sleepless Waves, I Am Viet, and PM Sing Chicken. PMSing Chicken. That's okay. Got it. Thank you for those follows. I appreciate that, guys. So yeah, all the switches work, right? Which is really obvious. Salvin CNC, thanks for the follow. And man, I need to follow you and start watching more of your stuff. I've seen a little bit of it, but not enough. Need to watch more. Delete row. Thank you so much for the follow. Yeah, so this is just before we get started. Dude, you have a really good voice. Thank you so much. I appreciate that a lot. I really, really do. Upas, that corn. Yeah, so I know, Upas. So very few boards have I given up on. I actually think, I mean, I'm not going to give up on this one, but I may need to redo it. I think the PCB itself might be messed up. Either that or one of the LEDs, one of the in-switch LEDs has a cold joint, and I'll show you why. Like, it had sockets. I thought it was the sockets. I replaced the sockets with hard headers. I reflowed all of the connectors right there and the connectors on the LEDs adjoining, as far as I can tell. But watch what happens when I apply mechanical pressure. Okay, and it's not going to do it right now. Actually, it's not going to do it because this backplate is on. But if I take this backplate on, the pins won't interfere with it. And what you'll see is when I apply pressure here, significant pressure on the PCB, or on the PCB near the thing. I'm not going to take the glass off or the plexiglass off to do it, but basically what you'll see is all of the lights will come on, and they should be in a red configuration right now, and they'll actually come on. This is a corn upas. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's in the menu that looks like a suitcase. Weird how no other display. Yeah, that's why I'm like, I don't know if that's true. And if I start messing with these settings right now, you guys are gonna see it. You guys are actually gonna see it. Also, it's kind of confusing and shitty because I have to like actually figure out the menu. Oh, God. Stupid Sony camera. I don't even know how or why it would get on. That's so much of a bummer. I don't have a setup command, I don't think. Salvin. Damn, that's so sad. The case is so beautiful. It is, but I think what needs to happen, what needs to happen with this corn is I've reflowed all of those underglow LED joints after it was consistently not working. I think there's actually a joint broken on the PCB itself, or a trace that's like semi broken, and so when I apply pressure on it, it'll work. I can't do that with the back nut on. Is the cat in here? Oh no. I can't do that with the back plexiglass. I think it's acrylic. Yeah, acrylic on, because the PCB won't flex because the headers actually interfere. Well, I mean, I can get to the camera. It's just going to be a giant pain in the ass for you guys. So give me 1 second and I will do just that. But in order to do that, I'm actually going to turn off Facecam. So you said it's in the suitcase, and I believe you. Actually, you know what? Before I do any of that, I'm going to plug this connector back in. You guys can see overhead. It's crazy. Hold on. Okay. We'll try this one more time and we'll see what happens. Come on, A5100. Oh, well, I don't know what worked. I don't know what happened, but that worked, in fact, which is kind of crazy that it worked. Like, I'm still seeing it on the camera itself, but you guys are not seeing it now. I mean, the USB is not plugged in, I guess. So, okay, so what did it say? Niv180, thank you for that follow. I appreciate that. If one LED goes out, has a cold joint, the other ones will go dark as well. Yeah, so I did actually consider that. I did consider that to be the case, but I reflowed a bunch of the joints for those, which is why I think it's not the actual solder joint, but it might be a trace. Yeah, there's no battery. Disco Crocodile. It's AC and it gets turned off regularly. That's why whatever, it's working now. So, and I see the autofocus box on the camera and you guys don't see it. So yeah, I mean, seems to work right now. It's just a thing that I got to check in the future. In any event, yeah, so I believe that it might be something on the PCB itself. Now, I am willing to entertain that it's one of the LEDs. I would like to know in what order these LEDs are in series for the underglow. Because it works this way, whether it's plugged in as the primary or the master. And this worked before. It had a Pro Micro that had a connector that busted off. So I didn't touch any of those until after it started exhibiting symptoms, which is why it's weird. They are WS2812Bs, I believe. Yeah, I believe they are. Yeah, and so, like I said, I mean, this is probably the first one, and this is probably the second one, and I did reflow all of the joints here, and all of the joints on this PCB, and on this one, and this one, and this one. So, after it started exhibiting the issue, yeah, it's like I need the schematic to see which one is in series with what. Because without removing all the LEDs, there's no reasonable way for me, because they go through the board and onto the top. But like I said, if I just apply pressure on the actual controller or the controller area, like, they will all actually light up red, but only if this back plexi is off. Yeah, I don't know, Disco. I will keep that in mind, though. I will keep that in mind for future troubleshooting. Thank you, though. Yeah, honestly, I'm very likely to, I don't know, I just had something that came up that may end up being like an incredibly large expense, so I may refrain from buying camera gear anytime soon. But my intent was to put an A7 R3, not an R3, an A7 III up here, and then take the A6000 that's up there and put it here, which I think would alleviate it, because the A6000 has never had any of those weird issues. And the A7R2 that I have over here this camera. Also, never had any of those issues. I love this camera. This has definitely been a workhorse, the A7R2. Maybe not for the stream, but for me in general. I love it. Anyway, so let's get to the board that we're actually building today. How about that? How about that? And thank you again, Disco Crocodile. Man, thanks Minterly again. Seriously, Minterly is freaking awesome. Anybody who is actually in my stream who isn't a follower of Minterly, you should definitely go over and give Minterly a follow. She really is cool. And yeah. Rated with 150 people. Nice. For you to love tech, it has to love me back, and Sony tech doesn't love me. Really? Oh, I don't know, man. I find a lot of luck with Sony stuff, actually. I have, at least up to this point. Like, Sony has definitely treated me right so far. Plus I have a bunch of their lenses, so or lenses for E-mount glass, or glass for the E-mount, so I'm probably not going to get rid of it anytime soon. Fezboy, thank you so much for that follow. Vex Transcendent, thanks for the follow. I don't know if I missed anybody else. Niv180, Phil 248, Grendel Prime, IP9932CD, Swipe Left. Thank you guys for follows. All right, so without further ado, we are going to push this salamander with brown Alps. So heavy, off the top of the desk. We're not going to push it off the top of the desk. That would be silly. We're just going to push it up. Okay. And we're going to open up this Monstagear Xo V2, which I've been looking forward to, and I actually have two of these. Oh, it really is a big box and very, very heavy, but I like it. I mean, I don't remember what these cost. Does anyone actually remember what the cost of these were? I think it was like $300 maybe. For a hot swap board with USB-C, that's a pretty darn good deal. Roarmont, thank you so much for the 300 call out, because I thought it was like 300, but I wasn't sure. Happy somebody else knew. Personal build. This is not a personal build. Hot swap is really not my style, but in fact, I don't have any hot swap boards anymore at all. I have none. 0 hot swaps at this point. Like, if I want to test selling on the aftermarket for around 5.6 now too, are you joking? I mean, it is a hefty boy without any doubts, and it is pretty for what it is. I'm looking forward to it. I actually thought about buying in on one because I was like, well, it'd be kind of cool to have a hot swap, and then I was like, nah, I really wouldn't. I really don't care. Customer sent super lube. We're not going to use that. We don't use super lube here. Bump-ons, stabs. I don't know what you're going to do with this. Can someone tell me what this is for? Maybe this is for like cleaning the plate. It's the only thing I could think of when I saw it. Super lube comes with the board. Okay. Yeah, I was like, like this came in the same pouch as this, and I'm like, you don't want to use that. You don't want to use that. If you don't like the color, use that brush to repaint it. Oof, hurts. So I think they offered a win keyless and a win key version, because I have another customer's one of these, and I'm pretty sure that it's win keyless. Maybe I'm wrong though. What's wrong with super lube? 1010. Ooh. Are we gonna get into fights on my stream right now? What's wrong with super lube? I have a bunch of super lube. Lift tabs. Thank you so much for that follow. I really do appreciate that. No, we're not getting into fights. Maybe, okay, so win key only. I know I have another one. I thought that I opened it up and, oh, okay. Okay, so lubing is an art. I'm gonna start with this. Lubing is a freaking art form, okay? It is not a science. Anybody who tries to tell you otherwise is just trying to give credibility to their lubing methodology. That's my take on it. Oh, I hate these switch pullers. Not the best switch pullers. We're not gonna use that. So I'll go into it though, for real. Yeah, so 205 grade 0 is less likely to dry out on you. All of these lubes are eventually gonna get dust ingress to the point that they don't function the way you want them to. But super lube will not only do that, but it'll dry out. Fashion fruit, it's not that easy to find 205 grade 0 anywhere. Anywhere. Sorry, little flex action went on right there. Yeah, so 205 grade 0, baby. Yeah, I know. So sorry, I'm just messing with you. So it is difficult to find it, and it's sporadically in stock. So if you're gonna use a ton of it, like I do, then you just buy in bulk. If you're not gonna use a ton of it, I mean, I think one of these, so this is a 0.5 kilogram container. I got 2, but I think one of them is like $230 or $40, something like that, plus shipping. Plus shipping. What is that emote that you put there? Is that a lick keyboard emote? Oh, no. Flex. Got it. I like that emote. That's cool. You can buy 1.1 pounds of Krytox, but it's probably grade 2, not grade 0. Grade 0 is pretty hard to find. In fact, even distributors don't really want to give you grade 0 because it costs a fortune. Yeah, so this is actually going to be a pretty quick build, if I'm being honest, because we are going to lube stabs and install switches, and that's it. We're gonna, I mean, obviously we're gonna typing test and sounds the whole deal, but okay. All right. So I'm gonna give you my honest opinions about this board, as always, as we go. And I'll let you know kind of where I'm at with it, right? So from the outside, it looks pretty good. The ano is maybe not perfect. Right there, there's a little tiny blemish in the anodization that is probably noticeable to you on screen. You can see it a little bit right there. Do not like. Just got the Ninja 87 Arc XD light, and the stabs came lubed. I mean, it'd be weird to send stabs lubed. Don't send stabs lubed. Fantasy 24, thank you for that follow. Appreciate that. I don't know. I don't know if it's a B stock board, but that is a clear blem. I don't know. Like we just pulled it out of the packaging. You guys have seen everything I've done to it. So, okay, here's what we're gonna do. This camera is gonna show off blems really well, probably. Okay, maybe not. So I don't know if you guys can see, like right there above my finger, you see kind of a little mark. That's a really big one, so it's noticeable here, but I can see uneven machining marks on the back of this. They're not deep, or really bad. And if you use your board a lot, you'll eventually get stuff like this if you're not really careful anyway. Trying to get the light just right. Here, you can see it up here, and I'm gonna try and move the light so that it keeps going. So you can see that that's not perfect, right? There are little blems in the ano, and it's actually worse than the salamander, right? This salamander, the blem, the like inconsistencies in the surface finish are so uniform that it's hard to see with a camera. It's easy to see with your eye, but it's harder to see with a camera. Without, you know, getting the lens and the lighting and everything just right. Yeah, so I don't know if it's A or B. I don't know, but I have another one, and I'm sure at least one of the two of them is A stock. So the finish on the brass, I don't know if this is PVD or not, is all right. It's not perfect. I have a little microfiber. Tunvan, thank you so much for that follow. Yeah, so it's not perfect either. I don't know if, again, it's PVD. Wow, the contrast is so low. Yeah, I don't know if it's PVD or if it's some kind of lacquer or something applied. It's a me, Marius. I like that name. On the plate, it looks pretty decent. Brainstorm, thanks for the follow also. Yeah, so I don't know if it's A or B stock, but it's not perfect. The plate is sweet. The plate looks great. But so there's only one major blem on the top that I can see, and that's right here. And you guys can barely notice it. There, under that light, you can. I can notice it though. It's super obvious. Super obvious. So this also, there's a tiny little nick blem right here on the chamfer. That is chamfered, yeah, on the chamfer right there. Rob27 Shred, what's up, man? It's beautiful looking board though, but the machining is kind of nuts. Yeah. Do I work in QC? If not, you should. Actually, I consider myself to be an amateur when it comes to QC, because I've seen people's protos that I'm like, this is fucking perfect. And then I watched people, like, I'll give an example. A great example is Jay, right? From Top Clack, right? So if you watch his first builds of his prototype J01s, I'm like, man, that looks so good. And then he's calling out all these things. Maybe it wasn't in his proto build stream. It might just have been on the private group by Discord, but I'm like, these pictures look great. And then he's like, this is fucking trash on here and here and here, when he had to go back to the menu and be like, I need this to be better and stuff. So I actually consider myself to be like pretty amateurish at it. This stuff is just really obvious. That all being said, I don't know, man. It was $300 board. It's super heavy. It is really heavy for what it is. Like, I would never have guessed that. It's just hard to get anode just perfect, Salvin. I agree, man. So I've Cerakoted. You Cerakote too. I think I went on your site recently. What group buy are you running right now? Man, I like gotta go look you up again. Yeah. I was like, I know you're running something, or you're doing some kind of project that you were showing off. Maybe it's not a group buy. Okay, either way, I know I was just on your actual site looking. Yeah, okay, so you do. Yeah. Descent. Yes, okay, there you go. So I've Cerakoted too, mostly for firearms for me. Yeah, I knew you were doing Bushido. You did copper also, right? I think. I'm bad. I'm really bad with people. Until I meet someone face to face and I get to put their face to their name and the things that they do, it's like super hard for me to keep track of that stuff. Yeah, okay. I thought so. Yeah, so we're gonna weigh this, but so I've done Cerakote work on stuff, and it's mostly about prep with Cerakote, at least. Like surface prep is the thing. Yeah, see, this is 6 pounds 12 ounces. 611.9, right? 6 pounds 12 ounces with nothing in it. This is a hefty boy. A hefty boy. Part of it, I think, is this crazy thick looking plate. Anyway. Cerakote is really not ideal to paint. The ideal paint, to be fair, it's not best for large flat surfaces at all. So I've always thought that too, because larger surfaces tend to be more difficult to get consistent with it. But then I've also seen people Cerakote like a car or the body panels on a car, and they look like super clean to me. And I was like, how do they do that shit? And I think it just turns out that they're really fucking good at it. And that I'm an amateur. Not that I don't think I'm actually bad at it. I mean, I've done it for projects for me and others. Just on smaller things, right? Like a firearm has a bunch of like non-continuous surfaces, so you don't notice stuff like that. I think part of it is just however they're doing the cure, how they're applying, like how consistent they are with their gun and getting the right amount of paint. So I don't love that there also aren't like pre-indented things for these soffits. I don't know what to call that, for the bump-ons. I hate that there aren't. That's dumb, in fact. Ninja 87 Xo V2 Monstagear. Like, am I supposed to put this sticker on here? I'm not putting that on there. Psh, get out of here. Get out of here. Cartoon 91, what's up, man? What is up? How you doing? What did Rob Shred have to say that I missed? Oh yeah, okay. You want to grab one? A lot of those colors are amazing. Yeah, so man, I need to look at this. I need more 65s in my life. I do. Don't anybody pull out that silly Chewy emote with the no 65s either. Yeah, so no, I'm joking. You guys can do whatever you want. I'm all right. I kind of am getting tired of the stay-at-home thing. I gotta be honest. I mean, I'm not like not gonna do it, but I'm kind of getting tired of it. I like 65s. I do. Did they get rid of it? They should have, actually. I'm glad that they did. I love those guys a lot, but I think a lot of people like 65s, and if Chewy doesn't like 65s, it's cool to say that. Like, it's totally cool. Like, I don't like 60. I don't like 60s. I mean, I have some, but I don't like them that much. It's like one of my least favorite layouts. And anything smaller than 60 is just completely unusable to me on the day-to-day. But it's preference. Like, some of them are beautiful, crazy beautiful. No, yeah, so I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, I don't want to alienate people. Like, so I'm glad that they got rid of their no 65 thing. I am, actually. That being said, no hate on them. Like, it was funny. But I do think that it's a thing that should have gone away. They are cool dudes, though. They are some of my favorite other personalities, for real. In the scene? Oh man, that makes it sound super clicky. It's not clicky. It really is not. But that makes it seem that way. But they are definitely some of my favorite other of the streaming personalities that you see here. I like Minterly. I like Disco Crocodile. I don't know if he's still in here, but shout out. I don't know what it is when I don't get to watch a lot of people's content, but when I do, I like watching that guy's content. I just like his personality. Minterly's super cool. Mostly just because she seems super chill, down to earth, and when I've talked to her off of her stream, like, she's just super chill. Like, I like mellow, easy to get along with, but like not afraid to speak their opinion kind of people, right? Like those kinds of people and I usually have the most fun hanging out together. That's my experience. You don't really care for 65 though. Most boring layout, to be honest. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I can see where you're going with it. Oop. Gentle on that PCB. Okay. Ugh. Hefty boy. So there's some blems on that, but they're not too bad. I think TKL. Okay, so here's the deal. My favorite layout is actually full size, but 1800 compact might have supplanted it as my favorite. Mostly because I do actually like having just a little bit of extra space on my desk mat, but I'm always getting the 400 by 900 millimeter desk mats. So frankly, I mean, who doesn't have space for their mouse and their keyboard on their desk mat nowadays? Yeah, compact 1800 may have supplanted it. Oh, why'd I do that? That's okay. It's okay. Why on earth would I do it that way? Okay, so here's my thoughts on this case as I take it apart. I really like that they have these oh man, I really did like it, but now I don't. Okay, I'm gonna criticize it a little. So they have these little extended sections here and these little notches in the plate, right? So you can center your plate on the bottom case. But here's my negative criticism of it. They should extend further up so that they then also center the top. But they don't. The top just goes around the outside piece, which I guess is probably good if there's no play. But I'm betting that there's at least a little bit of play. Noticeable play. And there is. Now the screw holes will line it up. But come on, guys. Come on. The microphone is pointed at my face so that you can hear this. I mean, it's a nitpicky thing because it's gonna line up just fine. But like, it could have just extended up a little bit and been a little bit better. That's the sound of my people. So while I like it, they're they're not like a super refined company yet, and there's still a $300 board. So let's keep that in mind, right? These emotes are fabulous. They are. I think it would have some sort of locator. Yeah, exactly. Now I was hitting it pretty hard, right? So they have this foam cutout that's supposed to go in here, obviously. I'm not sure this type of foam is gonna do anything for sound, but I mean, I guess, you know, we could, sure, we'll leave that in there. And then screws for the weights. My other major criticism of this is that they used a bunch of Phillips head things. Don't use Phillips head, guys. Don't use Phillips for anything. Seriously, just use hex or Torx or something that has a positive engagement, right? The angle of Phillips, it just lends itself to, if you take this thing apart a bunch of times, eventually you're going to completely bore out the head of this with an actual Phillips driver. Phillips is good for some things, but it's mostly not. Mostly not. So don't. That's my take on it. Okay, so we'll put this phone back in here. I would have much preferred to see like some shelf liner or something in here if this is what they were going to do. That would have been fine in my book. So these are, I don't know if these are acrylic. I believe they are acrylic. So the way that these are cut out is very reminiscent of duck, with the exception of the locators are these square deals on the end to retain it, and they have these round pins right here, and it doesn't really fit that well here. I don't know, if they were going to do this, I would have liked to have seen it have some kind of curvature that looked, you know what, I'm nitpicking it too much. This is $300. The machine time to mill out an exact pocket on a board and then do this is probably asking a little too much. But okay. Don't compare this to my duck. No, I said it's reminiscent of duck, not that it is duck. I love duck boards. I really do. I have said multiple times, and I will say again, that the Duck Unicorn X Legend is in my top 5 favorite boards. But there are some massively annoying things about that board, namely the PCB, which is a piece of hot garbage. Do a duck face. Can't do it. You love your Viper and Eagles. Yeah, sure. And they're great. I think the Unicorn X Legend is pretty much my favorite of their boards. Okay, boomer. That's something you might pick up if the price is right. Yeah. PCB can suck yeah. Yeah, the duck PCB is absolute garbage. Like, get away from Snow Tools. Can you please just make a QMK board? Damn it. Oh. Now who's the boomer? Alright. All them RGBs, guys. All them RGBs. And then these side LEDs. I really love these side LEDs and the way they did this. That is actually really slick. And because it doesn't have underglow per se, but just has that side accent glow, this is the way to do it. And probably saves a little bit of power. Maybe not a lot. There's still a lot of LEDs on this. Okay, so perfect, right? We're gonna stare at this RGB goodness. Ooh, look at the lens effect you're getting on this lens. That is bananas. Tempted to sell my Duck TCV3 just because you hate the PCB. Yeah, hurts, but I understand. I really do understand. I like the Orion V3, but also same kind of deal. Like, can anyone explain to me why these Duck boards don't accept regular H87? The layout is exactly the same, except they put the connector on the wrong side, so you can't just take a Liku L3, which is also trash, or an H87A and put it in there. Grrr, so mad. Disco party, yep. Your kind of party, Disco Crocodile. Your kind of, no, I'm joking. Merlin made Viper and Eagle QMK NVIDIA compatible, which is awesome. Penguin just wait. Yeah. Give him a couple months. Yeah, it's a great board. So 9 Get Rex, thank you for that follow. If you guys aren't already followers, you know, consider going up here and clicking that button, and then jump onto my socials and head over to YouTube specifically and Instagram, and go ahead and sub/follow there if you would. I'd appreciate it. Rob Shred, thanks. Appreciate that, man. Yeah. Okay, so let's test this out, right? So switch hitter action up. We'll clear that out because we aren't testing what we were testing before. That's like literally the one thing up here that won't do what I want it to do. Okay. Okay. So I lubed up the creams that are going in this last night. And I will say, I am not a big fan of creams unlubed. Like, I don't like them. But lubed, they're pretty good. I still would not put them on par with GAT inks or alpaca linears that are filmed and lubed. Creams are kind of a bitch to film too, so I know I'm not the only one who thinks that. So basically I wouldn't do creams for my own board build. Come on. Man, it is so hard to see the socket holes because of these crazy bright LEDs. Like, I don't know if I'm actuating them all. Yeah, I don't think I am. Like, I'm getting them in there, but not deep enough, I guess. Oh, that's what she said. Oh, hurts my everything. Joking. Come on. I guess I just need to look up as I'm doing this. So I kind of hate Kale hot sockets, personally. I will say they are the best option if you want hot swap. In fact, I refuse to take orders for other types of builds from customers who want hot swap. I will build your Kale hot swap board. I will even install your hot sockets if you're using these, like SMD stuff. It's not my preference. It's the thing I'm least likely to want to take as work. Installing your hot sockets, I mean, because they are kind of a pain. Although I understand not everybody has an iron or the skills to be able to do such things. But Milmax won't do it. Won't touch them. If you're using stock creams in a hot swap right now and they make you cry, have I lubed the PCB legs? Kakan, why would I lube the PCB legs? Check your tester missing alt. What are you talking about, buddy? Like, there's an alt here and an alt here. Confused. Or are you just, I'm not hitting them all. Why don't you like creams, and how would you explain the difference between creams and inks? We'll get to that in a second. Kebo, films are the thinnest you found recently, and they work decently with creams. Rob Shred, that's good to know. Can you send me a link personally on Reddit to those? Is that possible? It seemed, or on Discord even. IME or you number 7264. That would be super sweet. I really would love to have that. I'm probably not going to remember it here. Or TSC, would you note that down and send it to me later? The Rebo films. I definitely want to check it out. It's not a joke if it's true. Oh. Use the back of the socket too. Yes, you can, and that's probably what I should do. Oh yeah. Never tried Milmax sockets, but the fact you have to solder them and always made me think it would be a huge pain in the ass. It's not that it's a huge pain in the ass. That's not actually why I don't like doing it. Pain in the ass, fine. Like, I will charge customers for it being a pain in the ass, right? Because it just takes more time. That's not the problem. The problem is I don't want to put my name on it. I don't want it to be my work, because if somebody else touches it and is like, this is subpar, they're going to associate that with me. So I don't want that. Yeah, okay. We're gonna flip this over. And we're gonna just start doing it this way. But the difference between inks and creams is pretty straightforward. They're made out of completely different materials. One is basically all palm, and the other is palm and nylon. But that's almost irrelevant, right? So that's mostly going to affect the sound characteristics a little bit, the smoothness, but they're both really smooth. So, the difference between them is that inks are just tighter straight out of the box. Oh, we're over here. Yeah, inks are just tighter straight out of the box. And they wiggle less. Inks don't really need films to be great. IMO. But creams, I guess it's a pain in the ass. Maybe there's one exception, but they almost feel like they're a little looser. And there's like I don't want to call it grittiness. There's some kind of resistance when you push down on them. I think it has something to do actually with the materials. Oh, those are the arrows. It just doesn't feel that good. This is probably a function layer. Once you get back to it with lube, they're like fantastic. So, okay, sorry about that. Thank you so much, Rob Shred. I really appreciate that. Let me look at this. Never tried Milmax sockets. Okay. Infuriated with breaking in creams before lubing them, but now you're just gonna forget doing that and lube them. Yeah, just lube them straight out of the box, Disco. No reason not to. Palm is a super hard material, so it wears very slowly. I would just lube them. Lube them and be done. Weird. Milmax sockets are great. I refuse to do anything otherwise. Okay. Send me a link. Thanks. Kibo versus TX switch films. Don't know. I've used TX, not Kibo. Want to know a good place to buy cheap supplies for your first build? You're new to the hobby. I'm pretty young, so I don't have a lot of money to spare, though. Also, thoughts on Everglide switches. Don't have thoughts on Everglide switches. Haven't played with them. Their stabs are fantastic, though. Just epoxy glue those fuckers down. Oof. Don't do that. I agree with TSC, Tomb Spirit. Welcome to the hobby. It's a deep rabbit hole, and if you don't have money, that's okay. There are some options for you. I think 110 bucks is a little bit on the shy side, though. Maybe save up, because if you're going to do the work yourself, I think the best you're gonna get away with is probably not including keycaps, kind of assuming you already got those, or it's probably about like $200. And then you could get some cheap like Taihao keycaps, which are actually okay. They are for like another 35 or 40 bucks. So like 240 would be like your basic, like bare entry level. I would upgrade the stabs, get another 20 bucks for that, let's say. So 260, but that's if you're doing the work yourself. So soldering yourself. So yeah, all the switches work, all the LEDs obviously look like they work. I don't know what the deal is with this spring. Anybody know what the deal is with the spring? Freaking weird. Oh, there's like SMD LEDs right here. There's resistor spots and LED spots for right here. There's no indicators, though. Maybe there's... Okay. Put that down. You just ordered some Kibo switch films. Super lightweight and thin, but you like them. Not too much, not too little. I'm totally down to get some. Are those the 3D printed ones? Maybe I have heard of them. I thought those were thicker, though. Hey, SXVE, yes. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you in here. Chronoman, thinking of picking up your first TKL. Do you know if there's any in the 300 to 350 range? This one is in the 300 to 350 range. Another option would be to get an AliExpress case for $130. This board is not an example of it exactly, because the plate and PCB are super fancy and it has Alps in it. Alps blues. But, oof, dust. That's bad if it's Alps too. Dang, dust. Sorry, guys. See, I just wiped some away. All right, I gotta get this in a case. Anyway, so you can get a case like this, which is an AliExpress case for like 130 bucks. You can get a Philco Magis Touch 2 for maybe like 100 online, and that could be your basis. Now you'll have to desolder all the switches, but I'm sure you can find somebody who might be willing to do that for you. You know, one of the streamers out there, a number of other people that post on Mech Market, or you can just use it as is if you like the switches that it has in it. If you don't, though, you can replace those, and then you'll be paying more labor than parts, but that might be a way to get in at the price range you're talking about. Jelly, your Jelly got a board with blues. I have more than one board with Alps blues. I have that one, and then I have actually an IBM Model M clone that has Alps blues in it. Yes, I said that correctly. It has crazy tall stems on the keycaps to get the angle correct, and a flat plate. So I have that. This salamander right here has Alps browns. Yeah, when so I have a HBCP prototype over there. When HBCP, my purple polycarb one, comes in, the very first thing I'm going to do to build it, and that should be coming in real soon, is probably NOS Alps whites. I like Alps. I'm a fan. Browns are your fave Alps. Browns. Alps browns. Vago Alps browns. Vago Alps ambers. Oranges. Here's the one that's really gonna throw you. Ugh. NOS Alps Whites. I like Alps, man. I'm Alps fans. You have an IBM Model M but don't like it. That's fair. I'm not a big fan of it, Model M's either. I don't use that board that much. I think it's cool nostalgia-wise, and it's cool to have a rare board like that, but would I be using that board all the time? Ooh, this doesn't fit in there very well. It's weird with that foam, but okay. I thought at first it was just like packing foam, but it has like cutouts for the standoffs. So I presume it's in there for sound. So we're gonna use it for that. I mean, it won't hurt in there, but it's weird. Stocked up well. Yeah. Oh, you missed the NOS. No! That was such a good thing. I jumped in on that. I was like down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. Cool. We got all those screws. We're not going to solder anything here today. What places do I recommend to buy from for what? For what things, Tomb Spirit? For a case? For plates? You're talking about for the... Oh, okay. I remember. So you were the one who was asking about specifically an entry-level board. Honestly, the best you're going to get if you're trying to stay in the inexpensive range, there's a couple places that service people in your category, right? People trying to get like super budget build. And I know that sounds painful saying super budget build when you're talking about like $240, $250 for a keyboard, and that's painful. But just posted a pic in Discord of your Kintsugi. Kintsugi wants to play with. I like that finish. Anyway, yeah, so basically there's a couple places that service people in your category, right? You want a decent board with good quality, but you want it at not the exorbitant fees that are paid in group buys, and especially not the things that are paid on the secondary market. So basically you've got a couple options. It's KP Republic and KBD Fans, not in that order. KP Republic's products are, I believe, for the most part, not that there's nothing worth buying from them. There are things worth buying from them. But their products, I believe, are inferior when compared to KBD Fans products. There are things that I don't like about KBD Fans, which we won't go into here. But my general recommendation would be to maybe get one of their boards, right? I think that's where you're going to get probably your best results for that price range. Now, if you're willing to step it up just a little bit, you can get in on a group buy, like Space 65 Cyber Voyager just ran. That was not an expensive board. I think it was $400 for the kit, or just under, maybe it was 3 something. Now that doesn't come with switches or keycaps or anything. It's just a PCB plate and the case parts. But now you're talking sub $600. For a built board. $300 for the kit. Yeah, I think I paid about $4 shipped with, or for all the options that I got and stuff. Get rid of that. This, oh, that's not a good place to grab this by. Okay, so we don't need that stuff now. What we need is this. So I will put this here, and I will pull this up, which you can't really tell or see or whatever, and we'll go over lubing stabs, right? So I like doing this on my stream for people. This is a cool thing that we have that not a lot of other streamers have. None that I know of. I'm definitely the first to have jumped in on it in the keyboard realm. But I'm going to talk to you guys about stabilizer lubing and tuning and what we're doing here. So this is a stabilizer insert. So when you hear about clipped stabs, this is what people are talking about. Hey friend, how you doing, Chaos? Pleasant Chaos, my man. My man from Germany. You were also the first one to join OnlyFans. Best you can do is 20. We believe in science here. Yes, we do. What's going on? All right, so when you talk about clipped and lube stabs, this is what you're talking about, right? You've got these stabilizers, these inserts. Come on, stand up. Fight for your right to oh no, it's not party. It's to lube stabilizers. Okay. So there's these two ends right here. There's 4 little feet that come off of here, right? 4. You count them. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, but 2 of them have these weird little hook doodads on them. There's that hook. And then there's this hook. Right? And that pushes down on the plate. So when this impacts the bottom of the plate, this surface right here, and this little footed hook, and this surface with this hook actually impact first, and they spring back a little bit. So let me kind of show you. You see that compressing? But all of that leads to a weird bottom out feel, but more importantly, okay, well, there's only so much tension on these tweezers. I think you guys saw it for a second. So all of that leads to a weird bottom out feel, but more importantly, also a fucked up sound when they smack, right? That tiny surface resonates, it makes a harsh click, 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 click on the bottom. It's gross. So we're gonna get rid of it. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take our flush cutters. Now the important part about these versus regular side cutters. Do I have regular side cutters in here? I thought I did. I might have taken them out to use them for something. Regular side cutters are a little stronger. Whatever. Don't use regular side cutters. Use this kind that have a flat surface on one end. Right? It's completely flat right here. Right? There's no lip or anything. And what they do is they flush cut things. So when you cut, they just... Oh, Monstagear, been curious about those, but expect me to trash talk the Novelkeys creams. I didn't forget the question above about Novelkeys creams, and I was already trash talking them a little bit. Okay, anyway, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna okay, I don't want to lose those, so I'm gonna get a firmer grip on it. So we're gonna clip those off, right? And the way we're gonna do that is by placing our flush cutters like this. Right, one side under, one side over. Now I do it from the side like this. Sometimes that's not a good camera view. So what we're gonna do is, right, we're gonna clip them. Man, this is way harder than it looks on camera. Okay, and we're gonna clip them. Oh, look at that, right? now we have a flat contact surface. I'm gonna clean that up a little bit because it didn't get it correctly with, oh, it actually did. It just didn't look like it. Yep, okay. So now we have a flat contact surface. And it's still stable enough to go up and down in the guide just fine. Right, so we're gonna clip all those. I'm not gonna do all of them on microscope. I'm just gonna clip them here. Then we'll get to lubing. Duroc stabs are already clipped. Yes, Duroc stabs, Zeal stabs, etc. already clipped. Okay, so I'm just gonna do that. Let little plastic bits fly all over the place, I guess. Yeah, Durocs are already clipped. They aren't lubed, of course, and you don't want that. I think C3 stabs might also be. I have some over here. I could check. There's also, nah, I'm not gonna check. I think they are though. But don't use their stabs. They're not that good, in my experience. It's not that they can't be made to be good. It's just, they aren't as great of a source material. Now you can lube them and get their actuation to be smooth. It's just their tolerance is a little looser, so you need to add more lube, which always runs the risk of over lubing, making things sluggish. I'm not saying don't ever use them. I'm just saying, why start with bad source materials when you have access to good ones? If you're planning a board in a head, if you're buying in a group buy like this one was, then you just buy good stabs. Now, in this case, these are plate mounted stabilizers. So you only actually have so many options. Yeah, there's also that, Disco. You're right. They have had issues in the past with certain keycaps because of the flex, the dimensions of them, how they line up, how they stretch or don't, as the case may be. They're too loose or too tight in the stem type things. Equal stabs seem to be the safest in terms of wire pop, though, apparently. I mean, why are we worried about wire popping? Frankly, why? Who cares? Like, are you just smashing on your keyboard keys? Nah. If your stab wire faces down, then popping it back in yourself is easy. If it faces up, you may need to desolder a couple switches to get some kind of a plastic pry tool in there, like this spudger, for instance, so that you can snap it back down. I have had very few issues with Zeal or Everglide stabs popping out. It's very uncommon. People make a way bigger deal out of it, probably because people who were unable to fix it on their own right on the spot, it's a really big deal to those people. Keyboards, let me smash, Becky. That's a terrible video. I mean, it's funny as shit, but it's terrible. Yeah, so Zeal stabs have had those problems in the past. Man, I cut my finger. It's super dumb. But I have not had a lot of those problems with it. And I would recommend Zeal stabs. I do recommend Zeal stabs. But Everglides are cheaper and pretty much the same in terms of quality. IMO. Disco, your Zeal wire popped out because you were being extremely rough with it. Not an issue under normal circumstances. Yeah, so it's happened to me once, and then I fixed it. It's happened to a customer of mine before. For them, it probably sucked because they needed to ship the board to me, pay a minimum service fee to me, and then have me ship it back to them at their cost, so, or at their expense. So I can maybe understand why people would not like that. But, you know, it is what it is, man. Okay. So, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna plop some lube on. So let's go over how we're gonna do this, right? I'm not gonna do all of them under a microscope because, again, I don't want to It's actually harder otherwise, right? But I'm gonna do a little anatomy of a stabilizer under the most scientific of circumstances here. It's not gonna be. Picked up 8008 extra. Oof. So nice, but I hate the box that it comes in. If GMK is using those stupid cardboard boxes now, from now on, I'm actually going to be pretty upset about it. I like their trays. I use their trays to store my keycap sets. Don't use cardboard boxes, which will degrade over time. Trash. Whatever. There needs to be better boxes. That's really what there needs to be. Goes great with pasta. Okay, so this, we can call this the stab plunger or the stabilizer insert. I call this an insert. I call this other thing a guide. Right? I don't know if that's what they call it. I don't really care. This is probably the wire guide, but this is the stabilizer insert guide. So here we go. Here's the insert. The insert has 4 sides. Well, 6 sides really, but at least 4 that are important that we're going to care about. We've already addressed the bottom side, so we're done with that one. So we now have this rear face, which has a ramp in it and 1 hole, and the front face, which has 2 holes in it. One of them, there's nothing in there. The bottom one is the side that goes into the ramp. Now, the wire goes in here, and then the ramp allows the wire, when the keycap is in the down position, allows the wire to come straight out of that hole. And then when the keycap is in the up position, the wire rests against this ramp. Now, the point of lubing is to make sure that there's a lubricant between any place where plastic is going to contact other plastic or metal. The reason we do that is to damp out the sound more than anything. So that when those pieces smack each other, which they invariably will because there's fairly loose tolerances, tighter in some, looser in others, we mute that sound out. That's the primary purpose. The secondary purpose is to make the action smoother. Now, I say that that's the secondary purpose because it's not like they're inherently unsmooth to start. Sound is definitely the primary motivator here. You want to add enough lube to get that job done without impeding the action of the stabilizer or the switch. Now, that amount varies between different stabilizers as they have different tolerances, but it also varies with the switch weight, which a lot of people don't talk about. You need to lube a little lighter when you have lighter springs because there's less force to overcome any drag that would be induced or friction that would be induced by the lubricant or the viscosity of the lubricant. Anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our little itty bitty makeup brush. Oh, that's annoying. That's annoying. I'm going to take our little itty bitty makeup brush, which I used earlier to lubricate switches. We're going to get a little dollop on there. Right? Boop, boop. Little dollop. We're going to find one of the holes on the front or the back side. If we choose the front side, we're going to go in, which is the side I choose. We're going to go in this bottom side hole, the one that goes through the switch. And we're going to stick the lube in there and kind of paint the inside. Oof, a little bit of grossness got on here. I'm going to fix that. It's not affecting us negatively, but cool. So I'm going to paint the inside there of the ramp and the entryway to that. Right? But note, you can still see a little gap through there. We're not trying to hydraulically lock this thing because something else that's really important is going to happen, right? I'll set that one aside and I'll lube one of these up and then I'll show you, and then I'm just going to do them all. So we're similarly going to take some lube, a similar amount even, maybe just a little bit more, right? And we're going to paint the inside here. And we want to paint, again, all of the contact surfaces, right? Which in this case are this side, and then this back edge. Now with this kind of stabilizer, there's actually less surface area on this back edge because there's also a clip there. Now the front side doesn't actually, the front side is open, so it doesn't actually have contact surface. Right? And just to give you guys kind of an idea, this is what I'm doing to the inside, right? Great. Now, the front side has these clip areas. Now those are going to get lubed secondarily because the wire will be there. The other part that can be lubed is these little channels right here. Now that could be a primary lube, i.e. what we're doing right here, or it could be kind of secondarily lubed by the plunger going up and down. Sorry, didn't make that easy. But you notice I lubed those guides too. Okay. Now we're gonna set that there for a second. Right, we're gonna take our, so that's the guide. We're gonna take our insert, that's the ramped edge, but we want this edge. This edge right here, side that's up, is gonna, which is now forward, is gonna go like this. Inside of that hole, right? So this is the ramp side. The two hold side is gonna go toward the front. This side being the front. Boop. So now that's in there, right? And then basically what will happen is the wire will, after it gets lubed, will go in there, and then it can push as you rotate it like this, it will push the plunger up, or the insert up in the guide. Okay, so before we do all that though, we're gonna take this, we're gonna set it aside. So that's a completed one, right? Turn off the microscope and get this all done real quick. Okay. So now I'm gonna catch up on some of this too. Well, the GMK box is, oh yeah. I've heard both. Some people say 8008 sucked. Apparently they had it fixed. They had already fixed it on white on black example boxes. I mean, 8008's fine. I'm not hating it. It just, you know, it is what it is, man. Okay. I don't think it sucks. I just don't like it as much as I like the renders. So take a dollop of lube. Alright, I'm gonna paint the inside here. Both sides. And the back side. Great. So I'm going to set those there. So I'm going to paint all of these first, then I'm going to do these. And the reason I'm doing that, right, is because these can contain the lube. If you put the lube in these, then it'll kind of go out all over your work surface. I just did for, as an example, so you guys could see. We're going to go back to the microscope in a minute once I've got all these painted and the inserts all lubed up. Right. There's oddly more surface area in these, I guess. because they have that wider opening in the rear where the clip goes. Some excess lube falls out the back. Fall out, but I think you know what I mean. Makes its way out. Plus it has those top guides. So what all key sets did you guys get in on this month? Anybody get in on anything super interesting? I bought 2 copies of GMK Black Lotus. So one for display purposes, one for use purposes. And then I got in on GMK Noel. I was thinking about Shoko round 2. I really want Shoko, but it seems like maybe it was made without the explicit permission. I don't know. There's some hankiness going on there between Kono and the original runner. Shoko is like one of my favorite key sets. I was going to buy 2 copies of it. Now they've extended theirs long enough that hopefully this all gets figured out. But I don't know. So no KB got Nautilus V2, Pleasant Chaos got bleached. Yeah, so I have black on white. Well, I have minimal, GMK minimal. I think that's a softer white than bleached, right? Bleached is more like a Stormtrooper, basically, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. It's like very, very white. Or what was the other one? GMK Pristine, right? Is it, or maybe it's even whiter than that, I don't know. Blue or white? Oh, okay. I basically don't use minimal on things. So I was like not gonna jump in on another white only set. Now if I was more creative, or if I had more boards that it would go well on, I guess I probably would be down. GMK Nautilus. Nah, it's not really my thing. Not hating on it. It's beautiful, and I've seen the original in person, and it's beautiful. So, you know, I mean, if you like the way that colorway looks in renders, you'll probably like it in real life. Probably. It's pretty good. But 8008 Spacebar Extra, that's cool. That's cool. Grain. Yes, I did get in on grain. Is there a grain? Ooh, TSC, did I make a grain link? Whatever. Grain is awesome. I did get in on grain. I did. So GMK Noel, grain, and Black Lotus. That's what I get in on. Aka HD3. Akadi. Thanks for the follow, man. I appreciate that. Anybody who's not already subbing or following, you know, you should go up here and click one of those links and make that happen if you're interested in keeping in touch and doing more of this. And then you should jump onto my socials and do the same on YouTube and Instagram. It'd be kind of cool. Pleasant Chaos, no more key sets for you. Just need a TKL. Fair, man. Fair. I'm not hating. I understand. I have way too many key sets. Is there such a thing as too many? Too many might be a wrong way to say that. I have a lot of key sets compared to the number of boards that I have. So what boards did everybody get in on? Anybody get in on any cool boards this month? Because that's a good thing to talk about. I got in on Cyber Voyager. And I got the Schrodinger version. So I have no idea what it's gonna look like color-wise. I was like really about to do RoboCop, and I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm doing Schrodinger. All these look cool, and I'm just doing it. Flasian, what up, man? And thanks for that resub the other day. I saw that alert when I opened the stream up today. I appreciate that, man. Lil Fabs. This green key set looks nice. About to become part of it. Good, man. Good. And the guy who created it, super cool. His name is Jeff. My name, Jeff. No, for real though, Langalandia is a freaking cool dude. And that is his baby. He's also the guy who made GMK Cafe. Which, man, I can't wait for that set. That's gonna be hot, hot, hot. Hot, hot. No boards this month. Holding off on new boards until Kendo and Orbit X. Go ahead and post those links, boys. If you're waiting on new upcoming boards to come out. Oh, Upas was in here earlier. Upas, if you're still in here, I'd be kind of surprised if he was. He's probably been watching a bunch of Minterly for a really long time. He's probably tired of watching Twitch today or has other things he's got to do. But if you're in here, bud, S75 round 2, when? S75 round 2, when? I missed out on round 1, and I'm gonna be ready for round 2. Just tell me when. I'll follow those links myself. Thanks for posting them. Some of those Schrodinger CWs look fire. I agree, man. I agree. We'll be jumping on a Rukia this week. Rukia is awesome, man. Loving that Rukia. I really do love Rukia. I don't like Alice layouts that much, but I own a Rukia and I love it. And I got LZ Physics. Thinking it will also be really cool, and I'm pretty sure it will be. It's just I don't love the layout enough to use it regularly, so I don't. It looks super cool, and I love the way my Rukia sounds. The sound is unbelievably good. You're so close to going in on Rukia. I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, yeah, need an Alice layout Alps. Well, LZ Physics, I did get the Alps stuff. For it. I got it. So we shall see, man. We shall see. But I am down. Kakan, I am down. That might be the way it gets built. Is why the F not? Hey, Lil Fabs, you have a good one too, man. Take it easy. But you want to save your money just in case I have to buy a TKL on the aftermarket. I understand that. And yeah. There is one TKL group buy that may happen at some point Well, it will happen at some point. I just don't know when. And it's like semi-private, methinks. That would be Heine TKL1. He's teased it already, so it's not like a big surprise for anybody. But that is, if I'm able to get a slot in that, I'm gonna do that. There is a TKL that should be arriving-ish sometime soon. And that's Crown TKL. Looking forward to that. Definitely looking forward to that. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but that shit is gonna be fire because it's made by Heine, and Heine only makes good shit. I mean, yeah. The new Think 60 or 6.5s look pretty sweet. Yeah, they do actually. They look really, really sweet. Okay, so back to Microvision. Microvision looks like this. Boop. We're gonna lube this, the wire, right? So if you notice, we didn't put on the wire guide side of the stabilizer insert guide, we didn't add any lube there, and this metal is gonna contact it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna give a good healthy coating up past the elbow on both ends of 205 grade 0 right here. Right? You could use super lube for this, or you could use, you know, whatever. Again, that's an art kind of question, not a science one. I have good results with this, so I keep doing it. Those are my thoughts on it. But boom, there you go. There you go. And then we're gonna insert this, like we said. Right, and then our plunger goes up and down. Oh, just got a message from somebody. Yar. Okay. So let's get all those wires done. You already saw the technique. I'm not gonna show it off every individual time because again, harder to do under there. All right, get our wires all lubered up. Okay. Now this is an easy thing to do wrong. So it's easy because we got it going one way. It's easy to accidentally install it this way, and then they're 180 out. So we don't want to do that. We want to do this. Boop, boop. Okay. Goes up and down, goes up and down. Now the spacebar is going to be the one that's the most sensitive to overlubing, right? Because you have the most mass here with the bigger wire and the bigger keycap and all of that. But you still have the same return spring, right? You still have the same spring in the switch. So just food for thought, right? The thing you're most likely to overlube would be that one. All right, and then we'll get these wires. Boop, 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 boo. Now, the other thing is you want to go fairly far up the elbow. Right here. Doesn't have to be like to the midpoint or anything, but you want it to be far enough up so that as this thing slides side to side, if the guide is here, as it slides side to side in the keycap in the guide insert and in the guide, you don't hit metal on plastic with no lube, because that's the thing you don't want, right? So you put it in. Boop, 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 boop. Right, and if you look real close, here, I'll show you under a microscope. It can actually slide side to side in there. So you want it to be in there, right? You want there to be lube and it not to be a big deal. Okay. And it's actually like cold in my office right now, which is wonderful. I installed the extra like portable air conditioner that I have. I made like a little manifold for the, man, it's so dorky. Like there's a bathroom in that room that way. And I have this portable air conditioner, and the bathroom, of course, being a bathroom, has a little tiny window in the shower area. So I made a little tiny wood thing that goes in there. Also, if I do this the right way, a little tiny piece of wood basically that goes in there and has a has two holes cut in it, and then I strapped two like round duct plenum, I don't know, whatever they are, not plenum, like two little round things that accept a duct on one side and then are flat and have like seal tape around it. And I strapped that to the wood and screwed it in, and then put two ducts on there and ran those to the intake and out, because it's a dual hose unit. And then that's just running down into the bathroom where the portable air conditioner is. No one uses this shower in this bathroom, so it's just, you know, there. So I have extra cooling because that door is open and there's a little tiny fan blowing air into here for just my office, which has a bunch of computers in it. So it's like, I'm trying to be prepared for summer. I don't want to have to cool my whole house down to like 66 to make this room, you know, 80, so that I don't die. You have to try lubing the inside of the insert, the hole. Gonna give that a try. Yeah, I mean, technically if you get some on the wire itself, it should go in and put lube in there, but I mean, whatever. I add a little bit in there. I think it works. Does it take a little extra time? Sure. Does my stream lag as a result of it? Yes. My stream is long-winded and people probably get bored and leave and wah, wah, wah. Joking. But you know what? I am all about the science on my stream. That's what I want. I want my stream to be about people learning and us building high quality things. And I think the other streamers want a lot of that too, but everybody does it for their own reasons, right, Disco? Am I right? So I think we were talking earlier about creams versus inks. And the person who asked that question may or may not still be in here, but inks are just superior to it, in my opinion. Alpacas, once they're filmed and lubed, are as good as lubed inks. Maybe even just a hair better. I don't know if I can adequately rate them as better, if I can accurately rate them as better. I think maybe they are just a hair better. But I did hear that the next drop of alpaca linears is going to include a proxy for all of you in Europe. I did read that. and that is good. Sidereal, thank you so much for the follow. Really appreciate that. Really, really do. No KB, you picked up a Pace ADS 200 yesterday. Ooh, getting that big boy. Getting the big boy iron. Trying to buy an iron where you never have to buy another one in your life, huh? I appreciate that, man. I do. That's what I did when I got the Hacko, right? I was like, you know what? I could get the cheaper option. Could. Or I could just get the Mac Daddy, which, you know, funny enough, it's not actually the Mac Daddy. It's great, and it will last you a lifetime if you always are doing hobbyist things. As is the Pace ADS 200. Although the Pace ADS 200 is a workhorse. That could absolutely last you forever if all you're doing is things like, I mean, it's 115 or 120 watts. It's a lot of power. Unless you're doing the very most demanding soldering jobs in terms of power output requirements, which keyboards are not. And all fine electronics works not, unless you're like soldering things to giant ground planes all the time. It's probably just the right choice. I still want a JBC, like the 240 watt JBC, the HDE series ones. And maybe one day I'll get one, but it'll be hard sell, right? Because at an order of magnitude more money than this, I just can't do it. You still need the JBC. There you go. I still want one. I don't need one, but I want one. Racing Giraffe. How are doing? Oh, what up, Racing Giraffe? I like racing giraffes. I like giraffes. I gotta admit. I mean, racing them just seems like the next logical step. Like anything you like, you compete with, right? Sorry, I'm a very competitive gamer. Very competitive. I like competition. Makes me happy. Even if I lose, I like the act of putting myself in a mind frame where I need to try to perform. Or outperform others. Not like for the sake of flexing, but just because, I don't know, I like that headspace, right? Like, oh, gotta beat other people. Gotta do better. Even sometimes when it's just competing against yourself. Don't get me wrong, I don't look at everything competitively. I like those things. Minecraft, yeah, that's funny. What video game do I play? Mostly League, and I'm not good. I used to be, at once upon a time, okay. Now I'm not good, because I don't play it enough. And I just play ARAM, because I want to just get on and smash people's face. But, you know, sometimes I take that shit seriously. Yeah. Listen. Yeah. Hit me up after. All right. So we've got loop stabs, we've got loop switches, we've got a hot swap board. Let's put it all together. How about that? Get rid of this microscope because I don't think we're gonna need it for a little while or ever again today. Put that off to the side. I don't believe we're gonna need more lube, so whoosh, put that up. Up-ish. Mechs on deck, what up, man? How you guys doing? Racing Giraffe, you are special. There's some of you guys who are regulars in here, and you guys are special to me. Some of you know who you are. If you're a regular viewer, I notice, and I love watching you guys. I love talking to you guys. It's part of why I like my stream on Sundays, especially Sundays. Wednesdays are good, but honestly, I gotta consider moving my Wednesday stream because there's just too many other people streaming that I actually want to watch on Wednesday. Like Mechs on Deck. Love those guys. Seriously. What's going on, guys? I presume that's Dave. I mean Mike. Sorry, man. It's true, though. It's true. Some of my favorite key people. For real. And good content. See, I'm looking to buy a keyboard that's gray and black. That's quiet. Quiet. I'm guessing you're saying, as it can be for the price, up to $100, and no lights at all. 60% keyboard. You just want it to look clean and smooth. Wow, $100 is the hard sell, man. Like I don't know of many good options in that range. You're pretty much stuck with OEMs in the $100 range. If you're for sure $100, you're definitely looking at OEMs. And I don't know what the right option is there. You're good, man. Chilling today, waiting for episode 3 and 4 of. Oh, that could be kind of cool. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. I wish I had a better answer. But you're pretty much looking at OEMs. Which pretty much means like MX Browns or something. Or cheap Browns that are completely unsaid. Not anything silenced. Okay. So, guess we need to zoom out a little bit. I'm guessing we need to zoom out a little bit. Yeah, Shred Major, you can post in here. Nobody's gonna get mad. Oh, the Niz Plum. Yeah, that would work. That would work in that price range. Ish. I think it's a little bit more expensive than that, right? Alright. So we've already gone over kind of what we do and don't like about this board. That there are some QC issues. This may be a B stock, I don't know. But there are definitely some issues. We're gonna leave this I guess they're calling it silencing foam. I don't know. We're gonna leave that foam in, right? We're gonna put that down. Bam. We're gonna need this in a sec, but not quite. Right? So now we have this plate. So what are we gonna do with this plate? Well, we're gonna take these stabilizers and we are gonna put them in. We are. It's a very shiny plate, and I am definitely gonna get fingerprints on it. That's really unfortunate. Sorry, guys. It helps if I put it in the right way. So I'll show you guys what's going on here. So if you look, instead of zooming in, I'll just do this. So if you look here, note that there's a little cutout here, right? And then note that on the side here, there's a little extrusion that goes in that cutout, and that is how we determine which direction these plate mount stabilizers are supposed to go in. Also note that there is, and it's hard to tell with all that lube there, huh? Also note Man, this is really hard from this angle. Also note that there's a little groove right here. The plate goes between this wire guide and this top extension, so in this groove. So that's the side that goes in first. That's the very first thing you do. So we take our plate, we determine which side the groove is on. So it's on this side. That side, not that side, it's closer to that end, right? And then we put the wire below the plate and push it forward. And then once that's pushed forward, you should be able to, come on, go in there. It's hard to do with one hand. Then all you should need to do is push down on the back and they should clip right in. And they did. Okay, that was way more difficult than it needed to be, I think. Anyway, so now we should be able to do that with the rest. And that's what we're gonna do. Trying not to get fingerprints all over the one side. All right, boom, boom. And obviously you can just slip the whole thing out the bottom like an idiot, like I just did. There we go. The region, okay. It's an electrocapacitive switch, but really great build quality. I think their cheapest option is around $100. Reason you like it so far is the best sounding stock keyboard. Thing you don't want light, you want the keycaps that are the main colors. I mean, yeah, dude, like, so I gotta say, like, as unfortunate as it is, the way that you're gonna get the best fit for you if you have a lot of like hard requirements, and this is, I mean, honestly why people build custom keyboards, right, is in order to meet all of your requirements, you pretty much got to build something pretty custom, or at least semi-custom, right? A la KBD fans, KP Republic, don't do that, but KP Republic, etc. This is a $300 keyboard kit. All right. Okay. And we put that there. Boom. Da 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 da. Now we're gonna put a couple switches in sporadically here. Before we clamp this thing down. Why are we doing that? You might ask. We're doing it for a good reason, right? So there's the PCB can kind of flex a little bit in there, and I don't want the PCB running away from the switch as I push it in. So a way that we can kind of prevent that from happening. Now, you don't have to worry super hard about this, but a way that we can do this, actually, before I do any of this, I want to make sure that this customer did not request Band-Aids. I believe Band-Aids will be detrimental to the sound of this board. No, that's not where I wanted to go. Where I wanted to go was here. So I keep track of all my orders on Google Sheets, and I send all of my customers a document, a quote document that kind of outlines exactly what we're going to be doing. Right? So I keep track of it on Sheets, build dates and such, and I keep track of their individual orders. So I don't want to give up their PII, so I'm not going to show that thing to you. But so this guy did want Band-Aids. So we are going to Band-Aid mod. Now the weird thing that's going on here, and it's actually good that I did it this way first. I'm going to look again at the Reddit posts from this guy. So we contacted each other via Reddit. I believe that band-aids are less than optimal here. In fact, I'm believing that they're less and less optimal as time goes on. This is one of those things where I recommended something at one point. And my opinion has changed over time. Okay. Oh, I haven't talked to this customer in a very long time. Like, I literally have to go to the next page. Come on. Next. Okay. Yeah, you wanted band-aids, so we're gonna do band-aids. Now, I believe that band-aids are suboptimal on this type of a board build. I'm going to tell you guys why I believe that to be the case, right? Band-aids were kind of a fad for a while. I think that they're still kind of okay in some instances. This is not at all what I'm looking for. There are some band-aids already pre-cut. I may need more, so I'll pull out another band-aid. Now for screw-in stabs, if you're really interested in getting them, I think that's still a thing you can do, right? But I think in cases like this where you're using plate mount stabs especially, I think you should stay away from them. I think that because the PCB is not in direct contact with the guide housing, and so there's nothing firmly pinning that thing down on the sides. So it's possible that one day the bottom of the stabilizer will eventually pick up the glue that holds down the band-aid, right? Because there is a force created as the stabilizer guide or the stabilizer insert lifts off the board, right? So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Perfect. Okay. So I believe that you should avoid that thing. I also read up there where Mex on Deck said, honestly, I would wait and save more money. $200 is way more flexible than $100. That's some big brain stuff there. I agree with that. But if you're strictly trying to stay in the 100, I would actually even save up down to like 300. Personally. And then you can get like pretty much all the things you're talking about. Even then you'll have somewhat cheap keycaps, which granted will be nicer than OEM keycaps from anyone. Right. So it's actually kind of good that we put this down, this PCB down first, because now I can actually see where the stabilizers definitely lined up to, which is something that's kind of hard with something that's kind of hard sometimes with this type of board with plate mount stabs. There's no on the PCB marked area. We will need a little bit more lube after this. Jax, what up, man? Thanks for showing love. And anybody who doesn't know, Jax makes some great stuff like Rukia. which if you don't know what I'm talking about, you should look to find. Jax, I don't know if you're here yet or here still, but if you are, you should post links to content or boards. I'm happy I had some pre-cut band-aids. I gotta admit, I need to pre-cut a bunch of band-aids. Just have them around. There are some customers that still want this thing. I recommend against them now. Let me see if that lines up. Oh, they do. Actually, both. Just barely. Okay, leave that in. It looks way off center, but it does line up. I did it based on where I saw marks. Do people ever use electrical tape for Band-Aid mods? Not that I know of, nor do I think you should. Honestly, I would just leave bare PCB. It's definitely the thing that is least likely to lead to any potential problems. And like, we aren't using silenced switches here. In fact, we're using creams, which have a little extension off the bottom. I personally would just, you know, like, deal with the sound, which actually I think is fairly pleasant. It's like it's one of those things, though. You can get good Band-Aid results, and I have before. Obviously, for a really long time, every board I did had Band-Aids. I recommend against that now, but I think that those boards were fine. Just in the long run, I'm not sure that they'll stand up quite as long. But atop that, it did make sense in certain cases, and in others, I think it was just, hey, this is the thing we're doing because this is the thing we do. So if you guys are wondering how I'm finding out where to put these stabs, or these Band-Aids, it's because there's a little tiny, like you can see right here, where the stabilizer wire, or the stabilizer plunger insert came down and made a little mark on the PCB in lube. So I am literally placing them based on that. McCade, thanks for that follow. I appreciate that. Sidereal, I don't know if I saw you doing it earlier, but thank you again for that follow. Anybody who's not already a follower, you should you know, go up here, click one of those sub or follow buttons if you're interested, and jump onto my socials and go head over to YouTube and or Instagram. Follow me there too. There's also a Twitter if you want to see when I go live. That's mostly what my Twitter is used for right now, is just showing when I go live. So if you're a Twitter user, that could be a benefit. Anyway, I appreciate it, guys. And OG doubles is Thank you so much for that follow, man. Appreciate it. I really, really do. OG doubles. Or OG double Z. OG double Z's? Don't worry, people get my name wrong all the time, so. Alright, so the key with band-aids right here, the thing we're gonna do, is we're gonna take a little bit of lube. Well, we're gonna take a lot of bit of lube, and we're gonna then extract a very small amount onto our brush, and we are gonna ever so slightly paint the surface of these such that they just barely begin to look wet. We don't want them to be soaking. We want them to just barely turn color. So it appears that they're ever so slightly wetted. We don't want there to be a lot of lube, visible lube sitting on the surface. That's not a good thing. So basically what we're trying to do here is we're saying, hey, we've tuned our stabilizers fairly well. And what we don't want to do is have these band-aids, which are porous, go ahead and soak up all of that lube and change how the stab lubing worked. I think that's really the concept here. Now, there's all sorts of different stuff that's going on with Band-Aid lubing, or with Band-Aid lubing, Band-Aid modding in general. Like, there's different kinds of materials that Band-Aids are made out of. Obviously, you want to use one of the fabric kinds, but even then, even with the Band-Aid brand, there's different kinds. There's like TechFlex, or not TechFlex, that's what's on this. There's like a flexible kind. I don't know. There's all sorts. So again, why I don't think that Band-Aid mod is necessarily the best way to go. But it's done now. It's easy to remove Band-Aid mod, especially on a board like this, where you can just lift the plate. I don't actually know if we can do that with this board. So maybe we will be putting the plate in, and then I think we will. Yeah, I was gonna say before we'll put stuff in after the fact, but I don't even know if that's possible given what we're doing here, because the USB-C connector has to go up, down, and under. Rukia. Do you think you should buy a Rukia or a sectional couch for your new house? I mean, this is a keyboard stream, not a furniture stream. So definitely a couch? I don't know, man. That's a weird question. Can you apply the Band-Aid mod to all stabilizers? Well, like I said, I do not actually believe that this is an appropriate build to use it on. So I would not do it to all stabilizers. I would only do it to screw-in stabilizers. But, you know, you do you, I guess. I'm gonna see if we can lift. Okay, we can. So So perfect. So what we're gonna do is make sure that these are down, fully seated. And they are, which means that this is actually firm enough, a firm enough engagement on the bottom of the plate, on the bottom of the PCB against these standoffs to ensure that these switches don't just pop out, which is cool, ish, right? What it means is that the bottom is inflexible enough that it's gonna effectively probably feel like a tray mount, maybe? I don't know. It's possible that it's tuned so well that it doesn't. That there's like a, you know, 1/10 of a millimeter of deflection there or something. I don't think so. Probably not. Probably not. Okay. So our plate is in. PCB is seated correctly. We're getting fingerprints all over this. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna, before we put all the rest of the switches in, now there's no way to really avoid some fingerprints on the plate here except wearing gloves, which we are not gonna do. Because that makes the whole thing like nearly impossible, IMO. Not impossible, just very difficult, way more difficult than it needs to be. Plus you don't see the plate once everything's together. Okay, so there we go. Time to glove up. I mean, apparently we're just going raw, buddy. On this keeb. Raw keeb love. What you gonna do? Shred Major. Chat, she is furious. What do I do? We'll get by with lawn chairs. Gotta go, guys. Thanks, Rob. Take it easy, man. Yeah, for real, people are so incredibly nice. Yeah, that's true. They really are. They really, really are. McCade, I hope that you're able to build a keyboard one day. I think it's totally cool. So the funny thing is there's not going to be any RGB shine through because we're using Novel Keys cream switches. So basically you're just going to get the side glow, which I think is okay. I think it's going to look good. And then the other one of these that I have is going to be using black inks. So even that's going to be pretty muted. Which I also think will look good because, well, frankly, do you need that? Do you need the RGB above? No. Ducks look great with it just on the side. IMO. We've trash talked creams a little bit. I think creams are inferior to inks or Zelios. Or sorry, or Telios or Helios or alpaca linears or what else? What else is there that's real good? I'm not a big fan of creams. That's my take. I've not used Everglides, but yeah, Oreos, all the things. So many good options that aren't creams. Now, that's not to say that they're complete trash. They're a different option that you could use, I guess. I just don't love them. Not in love. Like, the lube job does feel really, like, they do take lube really well. Everyone has said that in the past, and it's like, well, what does that mean? Don't they all take lube? Sure. They all do take lube. But they do feel a lot better lubed than unlubed. Like, a lot better. Next build gonna be alpacas. One after that, good retooled blacks. Overrated IMO. Retooled blacks. Oh, retooled blacks. That's good. Sorry, I thought you were gonna say. I thought you said vintage for some reason. I was like, overrated. Don't buy vintage blacks. Plus, it's so hard to get good vintage blacks. Like, so many vint blacks, not good. Retooled is good. Can't wait to try the tangerines. I've tried R1 tangerines, and they're underwhelming. They're very MX Black like, which is funny because original tangerines, that's pretty much what they were, and like not C3 tangerines. I mean MX with that colored stem. Oh, don't go away! Don't fall. High rose, yeah, high rose switches. I mean high rose. They were just made to be blacks, basically. So are there any boutique switches that are actually worth it? Oh yeah, tons. I mean, we talked about them, right? Alpaca Linears are boutique switch. Helios, etc. are boutique switches. Even these are worth it if what you want is this feel and their cost. And there is something really interesting if you use UHMWPE stems in these, where they feel like awkwardly good. They're weird, but they're good. There's like a weird, I think what's happening is that the kinetic coefficient of friction is actually higher than the static coefficient, so it's easy to break free and then you feel more friction afterward. It's weird. It's cool. Holy pandas are cool. Like, yeah. Plenty of good switches out there. By boutique, I believe you mean basically anything other than like standard Gatoron, Kale, or Cherry switches. Or I guess Utamus, maybe. I believe that's what you mean. I can only ever shill Everglide. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna shill any of them. I think some of them are good and some of them are less good, but a lot of them are really cool in their own right. D Slash, thank you so much for that follow, man. I appreciate that. I really, really do. All right. I'm gonna guess that this actually just works now. Still bummed at the... Oh, there's another blemish. No, that's not a blem. So you still see some glow through the gap. It's good. Okay. All right. We'll pull up a little switch hit reaction. Ba-da-da-da. Oh no, don't do that. Now, do this. Okay, this was a function layer anyway, we think. Okay. Okay, so that's obviously a function layer. Cool. So now let's get this top screwed down. Okay, we'll get that screwed down, and then we'll see what this is like. We'll throw some keycaps on it, and we'll check it out, man. We'll check it out. You bought Drop Holy Pandas and the C3 Tangerines that went into group buy the other day. Only used kale and cherry switches before now. Oh, shred. Holy Pandas are gonna be good. You're gonna like those, I think. The C3 Tangerines are going to feel a lot like MX Blacks because, well, that's honestly, in my opinion, a lot that they feel like. They feel a little different, I guess. There's different characteristic, but it'll be very close to that. I think my favorite linear switches right now, if I were going to rank them, and I'm gonna give you the top 3 in no particular order because I can't really come up with a favorite. So it's Telios and Alpaca linears, but only Alpaca linears that are switched, that are filmed and lubed. Although lube all of these. And then GAT inks, black inks, and I think maybe those are just a little lower than the other two, but they're really, really close. Like, I don't know for sure that I can even say for sure they're lower. Like, they're probably about the same. Ugh. That's a heavy board. That sounded so loud probably to you guys. It was loud even here, but it wasn't. I didn't drop it that far. It's just freaking heavy. Ugh. Okay, before we do anything, now I hate that these bump-ons, I hate that the bump-ons are that there's no like pocket for the bump-ons. It's like super irritating. So what we're gonna do is install them like this. Perfect. That feels good. God, that's a solid board. I will say it is quite heavy. Boys and girls, quite heavy. What does it weigh built? 7 pounds, 1.5 ounces. Good Lord. Lordy. It is heavy. All right. Let's put some keycaps on this. What are you guys thinking? What are you guys thinking? Yeah. Chewy. Ouch. Hurts, bruh. Hurts, bruh. No pockets. I know it was. That's fine. But you did a private group buy, my friend. You did a private group buy. You didn't do a production run where you sold to the public, did you? Without them? And you're not gonna do it that way, right? I do have 9s. A Borealis would fit on here. TSC, would you make a start making a straw poll? I'll give you some options in a moment, which you can add Borealis to. Okay, I'm not going to overload anybody with options here. These are the options I'm giving you guys today. DSA Borealis, of course. GMK 9s. GMK Monochrome. GMK Modern Dolch. I don't think Modern Dolch will look good on this, actually. Like, it'll look fine. Actually, no Modern Dolch. Take Modern Dolch back. DSA, or GMK 8008. Modern Moto is out. 9s, 8008, Borealis, Monochrome. I lean toward 9s as well. I do. But I'm not going to tell you which direction you have to go. And it seems pretty overwhelmingly 9s right now. I'm not sure that we really need to do a vote, but I'll leave that up to TSC. What do you think? Poll up. I guess we're doing a poll. You made it. You're going to use it, damn it. That's fine. I will allow it. I will allow it. I don't know how long we're letting it go or not, so not too worried about it. You're thinking of a GK61, switches reds or browns, and keycaps, you'll see. Reds or browns. So here's a recommendation. If you like reds, maybe try GAT yellows, because also very inexpensive and great. Like a cheap man's Telio, kind of. They're close enough. Yeah, we're not gonna wait 10 minutes for sure. I'll call it at some point soon. So if you like browns, I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 problems, but MX browns aren't one. Ain't one? Sorry. Go Mean Green. How you doing, man? Thanks for that follow. I appreciate that. I do. But a Switch ain't one. Yeah, 99 problems, but a Switch ain't one. Oh, that's true. I didn't even see it. It's right there, and I didn't see it. But is GK61 a good board, and you like reds? GK61 is not really that good a board, but where's my home? Where's my home? Nope. I'm trying to look at its price and stuff so I can see. I mean, no, it's not a good board, but I mean, you can get a GK61 for $60, and it's hot swap mechanical. I mean, no, it's not good. They take GAT opticals. No, they're really not that good. But I mean, yeah, okay. I wouldn't do that personally, but I can't tell you not to. It's a really good price, and honestly, for $60, I might be willing to just buy one to have it, just to compare it to things. But to each their own. I don't think you're gonna find anything in that price range, frankly, in the scene, as it were. The scene. Also, here's the link to, because it's beautiful. I don't care what Max on Deck says. Borealis is great looking. I love it. I totally like it. I mean, green shit. You another Texas guy? Ooh. Ooh, the Texans. All of them Texans in this. That's okay. There's a lot of people in Texas, like California. California, I think, vastly overwhelms this market. People from California, at least, like, we just dominate a lot of what's going on here for whatever reason. Kind of off topic, but have I ever seen / tried ergo options for gaming? Valorant has been kicking your wrist's ass since you started playing it. For one, Jelly, haven't played Valorant yet. But for two, I have not. I mean, I've played a small amount of League on Rukia. I don't know. Maybe like, so what I have thought about doing is getting 1/2 of a Corn or Helidox, whatever, and just using the right hand, because I'm left-handed, as a gaming pad. I have thought about doing that. Those are ortholinear, but it might not matter if you're just using it for gaming. Pretty cool. That's my thoughts on it. I've thought about it. Dang, all you guys in Texas, man. Cool. Welcome, Texas. This is usually the one where there's like all the Euro folks joining us on this stream, and I like it. Shout out to my European friends. Thank you guys for joining in. Shout out to the Texans though too. Thank you guys, and everybody else, honestly. All those Texans with their cowboy hats, chaps, and spurs. Like, is that all they're wearing? Because that would be weird. Stomping around here, challenging people to duels at high noon. That's a thing, right? Well, super not a thing. Suburban guy, tried and true, yeah. That's what they wear. That's all they wear. Yeah. No. All right, I'm gonna call it. It looks like GMK9s is solidly the winner, like overwhelmingly, with more than 50% of the total votes. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do GMK9s, and I think it is gonna look great. I will say, as much as I like GMK9s, okay, I shined my QWER and a little bit on DF literally day one with 9s. Day one, boys and girls. Day one. I played a lot of League of Legends that day. I shined it day one. I mean, it was a mild shine on day one, so I will say that. I'm not going to use the 2 accents either. I don't like them. I like them just this monochromatic, unaccented look, personally. And I think it will look good on this board. Man, creams do go, like these caps go on creams like super engaging, like they feel good. Mine's may be blown, but from what I'm doing right now, these actually feel good too. I don't know, man. Much as we can trash talk creams, they feel pretty good and they start sounding pretty good on here too. Kind of hard to argue with things that feel and sound good. Why I didn't put the mods on first? I don't know. Or the lubed, stabilized switch positions on first? I don't know. Ooh, and this spacebar done never got used, man. The 6.5U, or 6.25 rather. I'll be damned if that doesn't feel good. Go on there. Okay. Man, that's starting to look really, really good. Starting to feel and look great, guys. So as much as I want to talk trash about creams, because they do not feel good stock, and they maybe don't feel and sound great stock or unlubed, whatever you want to say, or out of the box, they're starting to be kind of great right here. All those R's, G's, and B's, though, look a little outrageous. Let me look up here. Racing Giraffe. You forgot a piece of straw hanging out of our mouths. Oof. Oof. Go Mean Green in the Dallas area. It's not common to see the cowboy aesthetic. San Antonio, Fort Worth, a little bit more common. Major cities, it's just not in the wave. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Declutch 04. Thank you so much for that follow. Thank you guys for follows and subs. I appreciate that a lot. Did I miss Damage Point? Did I miss people? It looks like Damage Point had subbed to me with a tier 1, and I feel bad. I missed a guy who subbed. I'll play his alert again. Thank you for the sub, man. Thank you for the sub. It's less subtle from my typing angle. Way more noticeable. I'll give you guys a better example. Whoopsh. How you guys liking that? Man, this thing is stately. Like, look at the size of this compared. Like, it is taller off the desk. It's about the same weight, actually. Like, I'm really curious as to how far off we are. .25 millimeters, so just over an inch off the deck. 21 millimeters. Yeah, 21. Now the back, 36.3. .42. Obviously it's wider than Salamander. I'm curious. Put this plastic protector on there because I don't want this metal ruler to damage anything. 36.5 centimeters. .36 centimeters dead. All right, boys and girls. Yeah, the front is real high. See how that affects typing speed? My typing speed's already going to be a little low, I would guess, as a result of not typing a lot. Jesus, it feels huge and heavy. All right, are you guys ready? Are you guys ready for some typing test action? Is that what we're going to do here? You guys ready for that? Let's actually listen to the sounds first. All right, boys and girls. All right, get ready. Get ready. Get ready to hear that keyb. Let's do that. Okay, let's maybe try that again. I don't know, man. Sounds pretty good. Looks cool here. Looks cool there. Looks cool here. I'm kind of digging it. I'm kind of digging it, guys. All right, all right. It would go well with Borealis. I agree. It really would. Borealis even has a little bit of a shine through effect. But it looks good with 9s. And the vote was the vote. So we're here now. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Run is real high. Oh, redo. Yeah, right. Redo. Is that where we're at? Man, even this this thing I think is it's low. It's so low. I need a wrist rest. Oof. All right. I mean, it's just black there in the front, so. All right. You guys ready? We're gonna go to this view. We're gonna go to this view for one important reason, so that we can go boop, boop, and it be totally where we want it to be. Close enough, anyway. All right. All right, here we go, guys. Here we go. Democracy is flawed. Oof. All right. Oh, come on. Bad. Bad, bad. Bad, 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 bad. Kind of feel like I'm choked up on it a little much. Oh no. Oh no. So as much as I like the Shure SM7B, kind of a pain in the ass on this stand when you come in from the side. Okay, so let's try again. I want to try again. God, what? God. I'm getting all flustered now. So that's bad, but I'm actually having a hard time placing my fingers correctly. Like I'm reorienting and not homing, and then I'm in the wrong place. It's like super weird, actually. I'm not gonna do another one. So we got 60 and 53, which is terrible. Um, yeah, I think it being so high is actually awkward. I even tried repositioning it so that it was more right for me. I mean, the fastest I've ever consistently typed is about 80. Um, but I don't practice at all. So bad. And honestly, that is so slow. Like even 60 is so slow. Like I can actually type faster than that with two fingers without looking at the keyboard. Like 65 is about where I was a year and a half ago before I started learning to touch type. And then I only practiced for like a couple months and literally without looking at the keyboard. So I just grew up kind of with my hands drifting wherever and not homing, and I've a little bit drifted toward that again. You can kind of tell like my form isn't good. I really need to like just practice every now and then. But I have no strong desire to do it because I don't type enough at work, and I deliberate enough when I type emails and stuff, which is the vast majority of my typing, that I don't what's it called? I don't think fast enough while I'm deliberating on what to say to overcome my typing speed. So I never naturally type that fast. Well, sounds like I need to practice too. Yeah, probably. Um, yeah, this is actually awkward, it being so high. I didn't think it would be just a few millimeters here and several in the back would actually be that significant. I've typed on plenty of duck keyboards, and they tend to have a steep angle, duck and LZ boards, right? And I like them, so it's not the angle so much as literally just the actual absolute height. Kind of weird. You don't think in classic MMORPG brain? Well, I don't know what that means. But I played very few MMORPGs over my lifetime. Yeah, I mean, it's just not a thing for me. No fast typing required for my job. So let's go back to this view because I think it makes the board look best. There are some blems on the board as it came. Those are a little bit disappointing. This one's not noticeable. This one is highly noticeable on the top, which might not be noticeable to this camera because of the lighting from that angle. You can kind of see it right there. Very noticeable in person. There are blems along the back. One tiny one right here, which you can't see on this camera. But honestly, it's not that bad. And I mean, if you want R's, G's, and B's, from the side, you can totally tell that there's LEDs in there, but because this doesn't sit up high enough. But from the top, you can't tell at all. So I think it's really good. And I think at $300, so like if we calculate this out, right? I guess I'm on switch hitter, right? So what, there's 90 switches, there's 87, but there was 90 purchased. So 9 times, what is it? Is it $650 per 10 pack from Novel Keys? So $58 in switches plus 300 plus, let's call it 40 for shipping. That's worst case. This is $400. If you include GMK9s in it, it's plus, was GMK9s 115 plus it was like 18 for shipping? $531 for a 7-pound board. All in. I don't know, man. That's actually an extremely good deal. Extremely good. Maybe it doesn't sound like it if you're coming from an OEM world or you're new to the hobby. But I want to put that in perspective. That's fantastic. Right? Because this board, pull it up. Because this board which, by the way, also has some flaws. They're really hard to point out on camera. Maybe this camera can kind of tell. So if you look at this surface, the ano and the surface finish is not as clean as many boards. But this board, as it sits, if I sold this on Mech Market to you, as it sits, let's get a calculator up. Let's put it in perspective. So 531 is what I got for that other board, right? Let's put this into numbers that everyone can kind of go along with and process. Buying a salamander now, let's call it 800 for the board. They came with a shit PCB. Although let's just say that's the thing. These are Alps Browns. So Alps Browns are, let's calculate the Alps Browns first, right? So Alps Browns are $3.40-ish a piece times 87 you're not gonna buy 87 at a time, so 90 plus 200. All right, I added 2, so no, I'll add plus 188, whatever. So just the switches and the keycaps plus 800 for the board itself, right? Like I said, so plus, let's call it $40 shipping also is $1346. So this would be $1,350. I mean, that one also has an H87A, so it'd be $50 more. So let's call it $1,400, whatever. And that's if you could find it. A salamander for 8. Or there's this, and it's $530 something. I mean, where does the value equation work out? So yeah. Granted, it's Alps, right? So let's say it wasn't Alps. Let's say it was, we were gonna build it with the same switches, right? I mean, the case is still 800 compared to 300. $500 increase, let's just call it. This is USB-C. It has per switch RGB. It has RGB side light ups. If you want RGB, this is clearly a better option. I don't know, man. This is where my value face comes on, and I say this is a better value. Now, is it as good of a board? Would I prefer to have this than this? 100% not. Not even a little bit. I like it. I would even consider buying one, probably. But no, I would prefer to have this. This is great, and this does represent an incredible value. So yeah, this is what you're looking at. If you want a premium TKL, you want to get into this scene, you want a premium feeling TKL, this is the board. This is your best value. Now you're going to be stuck with not win keyless. You're going to have win key, right? I could have sworn there was a win keyless option, but maybe there wasn't. Somebody said there wasn't. I'll trust them. And the finish is not as high a quality as most customs. That's the thing. Can't wait for that Heine TKL, for TKL 1. I mean, neither one of these are a Jane V2 or even a Jane V1. This is a lot closer. Also a lot closer in price. All right, guys. So, I mean, that's what we got. That's what we got today. And I actually like the way this looks. I even like the RGBs. I do. It looks nice. I'm not a big fan of RGB, but I like it. I would turn off this crazy rainbow patterning effect on the RGBs and just set solid colors, but I don't know how able you are to do that. I don't have the software for it. I don't know what the functions are. I don't know what the functions are for it, but it mostly looks good. So yeah, that's where I'm at with it. All right. So I'm curious what you guys think. What do you think of this board for the money? Yeah, and if they do a solder version, no KB, there is no doubt like if they remake this exact board, Dumb Baby, thank you so much for that follow. I really do appreciate that. monkeys buying nice buttons that feel good. It's hard to put a price on. Yeah, I agree with you, man. I can't wait for an Alice layout that's more affordable. I mean, Rukia is like $390 for the kit. So I'm just gonna be honest, like that's a decent deal. There are other options. There was Lubricante, which was $100 for the kit, if I recall correctly. So that's a thing. Like, see if you can find a Lubricante. They go for about $2, I think now, $250 on Mac Market when they sell. Tomb Spirit. Who is this for? Okay. So I'm gonna start with NoKB's thing. If they make a solder version of this board, same price point, and it doesn't have the blemishes, and they clean up some of the machining marks. Now maybe this is a B stock, I don't know. But if it doesn't have the blemishes, so the finish is nicer, it comes in at that price, and it's a solder together version, and they offer it wing keyless, I am sold. I will buy one. I will buy one. So yeah. So Tomb Spirit, you said, who is this for? For a customer, not mine. Tomb Spirit, price. We just added it all up. As this thing sits with these keycaps on it, which are GMK keycaps. So let's start there. Or let's say that, right? They're cheap GMK keycaps in terms of price. They're inexpensive GMKs, but they are GMK, so they're high quality. This sits at around $530. Not built by me. That doesn't include my labor, but you can build it yourself. Putting in the switches is the easy part, actually. Yeah. You hope they make an R2 Lubricante. I'm sure they will. They almost have to, right? Like, it was so good. Okay, and then yeah, Tomb Spirit, I don't think customer is in the chat today. Yeah, if he is, he's silent, and that's fine. That's his call. Absolutely. The only thing I dislike about the board and typing on it right now are the plate mount stabs. I agree with you, Marius. Yeah, plate mount stabs aren't that good, but if they make a solder together version, I'm hoping that they also make screw-in stab available on the PCB. If they don't, that'll be a bummer. They really need to offer it with win keyless, screw-in stabs, and make the finish a little nicer. Otherwise, it's just like a no-brainer. You really like it. Seems too high for you personally, but it's beautiful. Yeah, so if you ever go to a meetup, right, and you feel all the keyboards around, you're gonna notice that the TKLs are running in the like the high 5 pound to like low 8 pound, or then there's like Kepler at like 10, right? You're gonna find them all in that area, and frankly, part of what makes them feel premium is how hefty they are. This doesn't move, man. Oof, hiccup. Don't know what that's all about. It doesn't move. It's solid. It's solid gold, baby. No, it's not gold. Yeah, so I would I don't know. Tomb Spirit, do I think this is a good keyboard to start out with? KBO products. So that's a macro pad. I have one of those. It's a BDN9. I just clicked on it. Yeah, that is in fact what it is. Do I think that's a good keyboard to start out with? Do you mean for learning how to program QMK, for learning how to solder, all that? Because if that's what you mean, the answer is yes. I was gonna find it. Hold on. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. All right. Bingo, bango. Where you go? Okay. That's this. I did not put the LEDs on mine, although I do have the LEDs to solder on now, so I'll do that. So if you want to learn how to solder, the switches, the rotary encoders, the controller, the reset switch, and you want to do the SMD soldering or through hole, But SMD, if you want the LEDs for the underglow, then yes, it's great to learn on. It's inexpensive. It's kind of cheap. All of the things that you're going to find on Kibio and Keyhive, with one exception, so far as I know, they're going to have this weird sandwichy kind of look, and it's not that good. It's not that great. I love their products, don't get me wrong, I really do. I love their products. I like the people involved in the project. We had this Korn keyboard, the Helidox, which we were working on. One side had a problem, but I'll pull out the side that didn't have a problem. This glass goes over, or this plexiglass goes over it, and it's off on this one on purpose. On purpose right now. But I'll just put it over there so that you kind of know what's going on, right? That looks like this. And these are addressable RGB also. Coconut, thank you, or Choconut, thank you for that follow. Jay Wordfish, thank you for that follow. I appreciate that, guys, I really do. So yeah, so there's even like a little OLED screen, and these can be individually colored. When I got it, these were red and these were red, and the rest was like purple or something. It has underglow. This is called a Korn. Now this case is really expensive for the two sides because this is a split, right? And you use a TRSS cable to connect them. I don't know how much the kit is. The kit, if you don't get this aluminum case, which isn't available right now as a group buy, is not that much. I think you're probably looking at a lot of work to put it together, but you're probably looking at like, even with the GAT inks, like, I don't know, sub $200 for sure. Probably even considerably less than that. But the case was like $200 for the two halves. This is not mine. This is customer board. We were working on it because it has some issues. But that it has issues is not that you will have issues. It's just this one has issues. I think it came from Keyhive. Oh, I'm gonna feel really bad if it was Kibio. Pretty sure it was Keyhive. Pretty sure it was. Yeah, it was Keyhive. Keyhive.xyz. And they even make a hot swap version. And the PCB for the hot swap version is $13. Now you're gonna need more stuff than that, so don't think that that's where it stops, but it's a thing. You need the macro board? Are you saying the BDN9? This doodad? It's going to be great for learning how to solder. And it's got two rotary encoders. And mine has a Pro Micro in it, but you can put an Elite C in it, and it can be, instead of being micro USB, it can be USB-C. Follow the link that he posted above. It's called the BDN9. It's very good. And that came off of Kibio. Like KEEB.io, if I'm not mistaken. How long, or how you liking GMK white on black? This is not white on black. This is nines. So it's like a gray on, it's like a beige on gray. I don't know. Yes, I agree with Jay Wordfish. Go for the Elite C. Are you saying it's a good deal for all the machining, Jay Wordfish, for this board or for the Korn? Because the Korn, this is an amazingly good deal for all the machining. The Korn one, I agree with you, but I think that the total quantity of aluminum and how hefty the board feels and all that, it's not going to make most people feel like that. Now, if you look at all the curves and all that stuff, I agree with you, actually. White on black is my favorite all-time keycap set. Touch, absolutely. It's so much so that I ordered a second set on the most recent drop buy. GMK White on Black, favorite keycap set of all time. Subject to change. I really like Shoko. Shoko's on sale right now, but I have not gotten in on it. I was contemplating doing getting two sets, but there's some drama between Kono and the person who ran it. Or maybe there's no drama between them, but there's community drama surrounding how the group buy is running right now. Pierre LeBlanc, thank you so much for that follow. Really appreciate that. Anybody who's not already following, consider going up here somewhere, clicking that follow or that sub button or whatever, and we can stay in touch. Also go on over to my other socials and sub on my YouTube. Follow me on Instagram, on Twitter. Twitter is mostly just go live notifications. So if you want like instant notes and you use Twitter for that kind of thing, or when I go live, that's a good way to do it. Also on Twitch, of course, you can hit the notification thing. Barjobi, thank you so much for that follow. I appreciate that. I really do. Racing Giraffe, you wish Keyhive would do more of the honeycomb micropad. Actually agree with you. Yeah, I do. Dirty Polo, thanks for the follow. Thank you so much. I actually wish that Keyhive and Kibio made more board kits where there were high quality cases available for them. And I don't just mean 3D printed stuff. I mean, like, I want like what that thing has. And not splits. Like, get me more 60s. Get me more 65s. They do some. Get me more stuff like that where it's a through hole kit and I can get a case for it, because that's going to make me happy. Or do more macro pads where there's a decent case for it even. I feel like the bar to entry is a little lower. The machining costs are lower. Thoughts on 7V and Tiny TKL. So TKL 1, like 100%, if I am able to get in on that buy, a 100% chance I will be getting in on that buy. Like, no doubt. No doubt. I would sell a board if I had to get in on it. And I'll tell you why. It's because my HBCP prototype board that I have over there is literally my favorite board that I own. Favorite owned board. The end. It is flawless. It's a prototype and it's pretty flawless. It's not actually flawless. There are some flaws. It was a prototype. There were issues. The issues were totally able to be overcome easily. They're not things that you notice while it's in operation, just when you're building it. But it was a proto, and it was an early proto, like an early proto. I am the first person to have bought and received and by a large margin, for a really long time, the only people that actually had an HBCP on their desk was Heine and me. Right? I did get in on the group buy, and actually Heine is supposed to be shipping out the last polycarbonate ones. All the alu ones I think have gone out, but the polycarb ones have not all. And then anybody who got in on Alps, which I did, has been waiting for some things to come in. So those should be here soon. And I will build my polycarb, my atomic purple polycarb HBCP on my stream. Absolutely. So there's a Heine teased TKL publicly, and there were, otherwise I wouldn't be talking about it if it was private, but yeah, it was an IC, but it was an IC for a private group buy, which I actually support. I know that cuts out a lot of people who are new or who aren't in the like in crowd, but that's not actually the purpose. And let me explain why that's not the purpose and why I think it's a good thing. And it's not just because I can get in on it and you can't. You might be able to get on it if you actually want to buy one. There is a, I'm not going to speak for Heine. I don't know that he's willing to just let all the people in, What I mean is there is definitely a possibility that you could get in on it without being a streamer or one of his friends or whatever. But in our community, there's a large tendency for boards to sell and them to flip, and the orders right now drive up the quantity of production, and that's manufacturers trying to meet demand, right? That's what that is. They're trying to make enough boards for everybody to get one who wants one. But what's ending up happening is a lot of people are buying them to flip, and then they're flipping them, making a shit ton of profit on it for speculation. Like, I mean, the return is way too high to warrant it, right? So if Heine were gonna, if anyone were gonna make $2,000 on Jane V2, right? It should be the people who manufactured it reasonably, right? So the right way for them to do that would be kind of a little bit what Key Cult does. Not exactly, they don't exactly do this, but what they kind of do. But what they could do, what everyone should do if that was the purpose, would be to have a bunch of those manufactured, like save up money or get a loan or whatever, manual all of those, do an IC, run a group buy, and ship them right away. But ship them right away, the GB isn't actually a GB, it's just selling them, right? They could just drive up demand by releasing them for sale at that price, and people would buy them from known menus. So why I think it's good what Heine is doing is he wants to limit it. He wants the bar to entry, you to have to talk to him, probably, or him to have to know you and you to have a reputation, or some combination of those, somebody to have to vouch for you, maybe. Like, this person is a viewer, or this person is a friend, or this person is a customer who's been repeat customer. We look at this guy's history. He's not like flipping boards, he's not selling boards. And then for people to get boards that want to have the boards, as opposed to people buying a board so that they can flip it. Because that's bullshit. It's bullshit for the community. It's also bullshit for the manu, right? Because if Heine sold HBCPs, I don't know what HBCP cost outright. I know what my proto cost. I don't remember, though I could look it up, what I paid, but I think I paid about 900 for the polycarb one, because I bought a bunch of extras. I bought like an extra plate and an extra PCB and blah 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 blah, whatever. Yeah, I don't know what Heine's model will be with that, but I think it's kind of an experimentation a little bit. But I'm happy that he's doing it this way in this instance, because his board will draw a huge demand. After HBCP being so successful, it's just a given, right? This ultra demand started with like Jane V2 selling out in like 42 seconds, right? 41 seconds, whatever. Can I be your friend so you can have a spot? You don't need me to be your friend to have a spot, Barjovi. That's the point. If what you really want, and I'm not saying go flood Heine with requests, what I'm saying is maybe actually just get involved in the areas that he's involved in. Let him see that you're a reasonable dude and that you are into the keyboard thing. You know what I mean? Talk about what things you've sold and what things you bought and what you sold and bought them for. Not that they couldn't be looked up. They kind of can, right? We can go on Mech Market and look at somebody's account history and then tie them to a user somewhere else. And people are. And there are menus that are absolutely keeping and sharing lists of people that flip boards. And they are absolutely getting their orders canceled or being denied and spot in the first place in the case of private GBs, etc. And they should. That should be happening. Because the community kind of has to protect itself, right? From predators, effectively. Or opportunists, maybe, let's say. You invested in Heine's R&D and got a board out of it. Sushi139, thanks for the follow. Yeah, you're kind of right, J-Wordfish. You're kind of right. And the offer stands to do it again. For many manufacturers, that offer stands now. Not because I'm a streamer and it makes cool content, although that's a great perk for me, but because I'm into keyboards and I want cool keyboards. And I'm willing to take a board that has some kind of defect or flaw, but have it and own it. I'll give you a great example. Great example of exactly that thing. How many J01s were made? So let me pull up a few boards where this is true, right? I'm gonna move this off to the side so it doesn't get damaged. But I'll put them up here, right? Board number 1. Board number 2. Board number 3. Every one of these boards was low production run, effectively prototype runs, some in more mass than others. This was a low production run board that was effectively prototype, will probably be run, to my knowledge, one day by Chewy. Chewy, if you're still here, feel free to contradict that or confirm or deny or whatever. Jay has said previously that he probably wouldn't ever make J01 again, but he made J02 and is going to make J03 and J04, and maybe one day he will make J01. Chewy did make a great board, Racing Giraffe. He really, really did. It's a great board. I'm not into 60, and this is the board that primarily sits on this desk. It will be replaced one day, and it will sit somewhere else, but that's not a knock against it. It's just a thing. J01 doesn't get a lot of use by me. I like it. It's super pretty, but it's huge for how much functionality it has. But I'm not hating on that. I love it. It's unique. It's cool. It does this cool thing right here with a pen rail, which is freaking amazing. But it has to do with its functionality, right? I will use it in scenarios where it makes sense, on computers where it makes sense. But the thing is like, these were funding somebody else's thing at some point. Do I do giveaways? Tomb Spirit. There's a possibility that I will do some giveaways, but generally speaking, I don't do a lot of giveaways, and I'll explain why. I don't have any sponsors. Part of that is by choice. For a really long time, I chose not to do any sponsorship deals with anyone, strictly because I just wanted to not ever be seen as for sale. Would I take a sponsorship deal at this point? Maybe, probably, with the right vendor and the right deal. And I would want to have an open dialogue with my community, with all of you guys, about what that looks like. But it would have to be the right people, and it would have to be for the right purposes, and with people that I not only believe in their products, but I like them and I like what they're doing. So I've been super exclusionary to that whole thing. So I don't do a lot of giveaways because I don't have sponsors that are giving me things to give away. But I don't hate on that thing. And I don't think that everybody that has sponsors is for sale. I don't, absolutely. In fact, I think most of the vendors that are sponsoring people are doing it in a super above board way, and it's very ethical. And everybody's being honest with you for the most part. But I never wanted to seem like I was for sale. So that's why. Would I do a giveaway? Yeah, potentially. But very likely it would be with my own stuff. Do you know what old keyboards cost, my dude? Yeah, old keyboards cost a lot. Yeah, this board does look good with camping. It's not the best looking board with camping IMO that I have. I think this board looks better with camping. This is a TX84. And I think it looks better with camping, specifically. specifically. I do have 2 camping sets. I do. 2 round 1 campings. I didn't even get in on round 2 or camping in Japan because instead of doing that, I just picked up a second camping set. Yes, and that Tomb Spirit, that's the kind of board that I would most likely give away. Would be something that I don't use or I don't like. Yes, round 2 doesn't have the mountain and total bust. It also doesn't have the little camper and all the other things, all the other novelties. The novelties are what doesn't sell it for me. I think I did jump in on Spacebar's set just by itself because I don't have Spacebar's kit for original camping, so I wanted to have the Spacebar, the colored Spacebars, but I didn't get it on anything else. Yosoyas, thank you very much, appreciate that. Did I miss Sushi 139? If I did, I'm sorry, and thank you for following. Yeah, so these were all basically proto runs, and I am happy with them in every case. Each one of them has flaws. All 3 of them. I can go over them really quickly. The cuts right here on Baka 60 are ever so slightly too narrow, which means that for some people and some sets, if you don't break the corner on your Alt key, it rubs. Mine doesn't do that because all I literally did is drag my fingernail across the keycap on the bottom corner and it cut enough of the plastic away. The other thing is, you need to put a spacer under, I think, this side where the case and plate sandwich together, because there's enough play in there that it'll kind of wiggle. Actually, it might be this side. I don't remember. Either way, so that's an issue. I used a little nylon washer that I use for screw-in stabs, for insulating the screw and screw-in stabs from the PCB. That's the problem that existed with this. It also didn't have little pockets for the bump-ons. That's a thing. If ever there's a production run, that will be fixed, I'm sure. There was one issue with HBCP Proto. Now, keep in mind, Heine made a Proto. He had a couple people build it. He played with it. Then he had another Proto. He had a couple more Protos that were non-functional altogether made for himself. Playing with different changes in the shapes and curves and bezels and blah, blah, blah. And then he was having one made for him with the modifications. I asked to be a part. He was gracious. He allowed me in. And I got this board. This board has a flaw. 4 other people were able to do the same thing. They got in quite a bit after I did. They got a much later proto. I don't know if there's had the same issue, but I think it did. They may have even come in at the same time, but only my PCB was done. I don't really remember all the details that well. I could go back and look through history or whatever, but it's not that relevant. The issue with this board is if you pull the top case off and the plate and PCB out, the bottom deck, that center area where it's milled out, the pocket for the PCB to fit down, is like 1.5 millimeters too high. And so what you need to do is on the PCB, after you solder everything together, you have to clip all the pins from all the switches down. Otherwise they'll contact the bottom case. That was the only problem with it. Otherwise, this is a flawless board. And once you've done that, who cares? Who cares? Perfect. JO1. JO1's big flaw. There's a couple little flaws. In my opinion, one is with the gasket and how it's cut. In this area, you need to make a couple little slices to make reliefs so that everything can sandwich together without over compressing the gasket in that area. That's easy peasy. Another one is these magnets that Jay used. Like you notice, I have a bunch of the other magnets in here, like this. And it goes in the hole, but it comes out, it's loose. They were press fit, same with the bottom case. If You notice the bottom case has 1 magnet on that side, 2 on this side, 3 over here, 2 over here, but I couldn't get the rest of them to fit on the bottom of the case, so that's what you get. Bingo bango. Those are the problems with J01. Done. I can live with it. Ugh, that's a heavy board. This was not a prototype, and the finish is kind of shit. So, I'm just willing. Guaranteed way to get 90 plus words per minute. Can use his nose too. Yep. V1 TX so beautiful. I agree. I have a TX 84 SE as well in red that needs a rebuild actually. Like the PCB is trash. Needs a rebuild. Yeah, so yeah. Please no toe typing. Toe typing. Ugh. Don't you touch your... No. Just no. No, no, no. I know this is kind of weird, but do you have any older builds maybe have flaws or they're dusty that I could buy for a discount? M. Dobman. So probably not, honestly. I have a purple 5-degree case, but I probably don't want to get rid of it, even though I don't really use it. I'm not really good at selling my stuff. I have leftovers from like every hobby I've ever been in, which is unfortunate. J-Wordfish, cyanoacrylate, glue them in. Sure, and that's very possible, but cyanoacrylate is brittle. Those kind of stick up a little bit, so they will actually make contact when the top hits the bottom, and it will cause the glue to break because they are rare earth magnets. They are very strong. It will break for sure, but it holds the way it is. I don't even need to mess with it. If any boards are for sale, they would be posted on Reddit. As of right now, I do not believe. Yes, and I don't. Sorry. But Mac Market is your spot. That is the place you're gonna go to find boards right now. You're gonna pay a premium for them. And honestly, if I sold my boards now, depending on the board, I would sell them for the going rates on Mac Market. Not like flipper prices, whatever the going rate is. I wouldn't like mark up crazy. But I'm just not going to sell my boards. That's the point. I'm not interested in them. Sorry. There you go. Yeah, and I wouldn't sell them for crazy. I sell them for close to what I got for them. The going rates are pretty much the going rates. I mean, I guess there's a few boards that I bought before the prices, the going rates were like expanded to what they are now, to where I would probably just get rid of them for what I got them for. TX84 I bought for $500. TX84 SE I bought for $400. I think that board goes for about 7 or 8 now. 650 to 800, let's call it. But I'm not gonna get rid of them. I like them. I've sold one board. Two boards. I've sold 2 boards, I guess. But let me explain. One was the Tofu hot swap, and the other was the Kira hot swap. Gone. Sold them. Get out of here. Yeah, but I don't like either of them, so get out of here. After the talk you just gave on flipping boards, I assume, yeah, I'm not gonna sell. I'm not gonna sell. Even if I get out of this hobby, probably they'll just stay with me. Or they'll stay with me, and then when one of the people who made the boards is like, hey, I know somebody who really wants that board. Josh, you using those boards? You're not even into this hobby. I'm not planning on getting out, but you're not even into this thing anymore. at that point, I might be willing to part with that board. Anyway, I gotta go to Racing Giraffe, so I'm gonna get out of here. It's been super fun hanging out with you all. As usual, we spent a ton of time building a keyboard that probably didn't need to spend that much time on, but I appreciate all of you guys' time, all of your guys' viewership. Thank you so much. Again, I'm gonna do this one more time. If you guys have not already followed or subbed, consider going up into this corner and making that thing happen. If you want to stay in touch otherwise, go ahead. I post all my VODs onto YouTube. Follow my socials. Jump on there and follow me. Do the same on Instagram, same on Twitter. Depends on how you want to keep in touch, but I would appreciate it. Hopefully it helps. Everybody, thank you guys so much for being great viewers. Who else is streaming right now? It looked like Jay was streaming. Yeah. Okay, cool. So we're gonna raid Top Clack, because you know what? F it. Wait, who else is streaming? Well, Quantric isn't playing that, so yeah. So Top Clack. So we will raid Top Clack. All right, guys. It's been great as always. You guys take it easy, and I will catch you on Wednesday if you're around. Later, guys. And you're welcome for all the info. Come back and ask anytime. All right. Later.
German ISO or whatever ISO DE, that key should be mod colored IMO. What do people think? Should that be mod colored? Would that look better mod colored, even though it's two keys?